What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Top 5 Podcast, a show where every week we choose a topic and give it a top 5 ranking. My name is Ron McNerney, and I'm joined here today with my buddies, Zach Blanner.
Yo, what's good? I work at Starbucks for now.
Colin Harding.
Yo, what's good? I don't work at Starbucks for now.
And Matt Bush.
I've never worked at Starbucks.
Today's show is centered around our favorite shows when we were kids and why those shows are our favorite. Boys, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm lit for it.
A little fumble on the intro, but what are you gonna do? But it's fine, because I'm starting out the show
We do it live.
today with my number 5. My number 5 is a classic, honestly. One for the times. It is Tom and Jerry.
I knew it. I knew it'd be on there.
Was that the one you were referring to earlier?
Would
Interesting.
that be mad about?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I 100%. As someone who was forced to play a Tom and Jerry fighting video game on the PS2 in your room, I had no doubt that it would be on your list, especially after hearing you talk about Tom and Jerry as much as you have in these past few years.
What was the game? Oh my god, what was it? I can't remember the name of the game, of the Tom and Jerry fighting game.
Well,
Battle of the Whiskers or something, I think. I don't know.
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that is like my Mortal Kombat childhood, as a lot of like our parents are probably playing like arcades.
Dude, we played like 3 games. You kept
Honestly,
taking me down. I was like, fuck
My
this.
favorite Tom and Jerry thing was this shows how dated we are. The kids today don't even understand games that were online, like that were actually on websites. Was the Cartoon Network game where you played Tom and Jerry and you had to
Yo.
set up a trap that captured Jerry.
I loved those like Disney, Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network like website games and stuff.
Dude, my Mario Maker when I was younger was the new Ben 10 version. You could create your own levels and everything
Yep.
on Cartoon Network Online.
Yeah,
That was my Mario Maker.
those little like
I remember-
flash games and stuff.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome. I remember I made the hardest motherfucking level and I couldn't even beat it. I don't even know if it was technically possible to be beaten, I guess, since I never beat it. But you know.
But yeah, Tom and Jerry has to be a number 5, and it was like it was a show like my mom watched and everything too. It was just the classic cat chasing the mouse, you know.
No, definitely fantastic show.
Yeah, fantastic
It's all right.
series. MGM, you know, you have the lion roaring in the beginning.
Iconic.
Yeah, I like Tom and Jerry. I didn't know you were deep into the Tom and Jerry.
I'm
let me
deep
tell you-
into the
let
Tom
me
and
tell you
Jerry
something.
lore. I'm so deep into the lore.
Have you read the Grimoire?
I have read the Grimoire.
The Tom and Jerry cinematic
Dude.
universe.
Zach's-
The Game Boy Color game was fantastic. I don't even remember what it was called, but I had it for my Game Boy Color. I loved it.
Yeah, I feel like Zach's about to drop some childhood Ron stuff real quick. Were you?
Dude, let me tell you about
I just remember
Ron.
I just remember you talking about it all the time. I never liked Tom and Jerry. Like Tom and Jerry, going back and watching it in my adult form, it's fine. When I was younger, the thing that really turned me off was just the silence. Like they never talked. It was just shit that was happening. And like I liked the movies where they talked or like the situations and stuff like that. It just never hit me. I going back and watching it now, like recently. I haven't watched it recently, but when I was older, I say older, I mean like above, I guess 12 years old. I appreciated it. It was all right. Never really. Definitely, it wouldn't make my top 100 if I'm being honest.
Well,
but-
Zach, if your top 5 is so great, why don't you hit us with your number 5 since you're next? Like that transition?
Got 'em.
All right, so I
Nice
think it's
transition.
only fair
Nice
to
transition.
preface my top 5. So I specifically focus on like cartoon and or animated things. I decided to just leave out anything that wasn't altogether. Mainly because I feel like for kids shows it's a lot. Like I mainly watch
None of the
animated
live
or cartoon shows.
And we do want to
Yeah,
specify
yeah.
to the audience that these are kid shows from when we were kids. So like we can't
Yeah,
talk about
yeah.
like
Like
Gumball or
2000s.
anything like that. or
Yeah,
the newer
yeah.
Cartoon
Like these are
Network shows.
2000s
Yeah,
era things or 90s, depending.
yeah,
on
except
if
Tom
you-
and Jerry. But yeah,
Yeah,
80s.
I mean, yeah. My number 5 is Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
No, fantastic.
I didn't think
That's a
they'd be
good one.
that low for you, if I'm being honest.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I love Foster's Home for
I know you
Imaginary
loved it. I didn't
Friends.
expect it to be like
It
the
was
number 5. Figured higher.
So good. I love Foster's Home. The movie was awesome. The movie that started it all, phenomenal. I remember before that was like one of the first TV shows I ever had on my radar before it came out. And like I watched the movie, I thought it was a TV show. I was like, "Oh, this is a new TV show. That's so cool." Then like an hour into this, like what I thought was a TV show, I was like, "Wow, this is like really long." And then it was a movie. I was like, "Oh, that's so cool." And then like a few months, or maybe it was a few years, who knows? But however much longer later, it came out with an actual TV show, and it was great. I love Blue. I love Mac. Wilt used to be my favorite character just because
he was so tall like you.
He was a basketball player.
He was at least 5'3", so it's fine. Like, yeah. He was everything I wish I could be. So, I love basketball. Yeah, I loved basketball. I don't really keep up with basketball, so like, Chad, don't call me out on that. But yeah, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was awesome. I love the crazy things. Was it Blue who had a crush on Franny, or was it Mac? Or maybe that was an episode. That was a specific episode that happened.
I think Mac always had a crush on Franny. Like that's just like an over, like a
Yeah.
what do you, like an over a story arc thing that happens over the entire series.
Dude, I used to pray for something like Coco that just shat.
Dude,
things.
Coco would have been the best. Coco would have been the best.
Oh my god. My young mind was like, yo, dude, you could like I was thinking of ways I could make a profit of like ship me like 7 PS2s and like I got it. Like we
just
like,
shit you money. Like you could just literally get money.
My thing was like I don't even care if it's random. I just want something that just like if I got a random thing today, I would be like psyched.
Dude, and the only plot hole was this like Foster Home was designed for when you outgrow or you forget about your imaginary friend. And I was like, if you had fucking Coco, how the motherfuck do you forget about that bitch? Like,
you stay a forever child at that point.
How? But if I recall correctly, actually, Coco is an imaginary friend. She's actually like a race of something that they found in the jungle. I think that was an episode that happened. And if I recall correctly, I actually think like leading up to it, like I feel like they used to promote their TV shows so much better back in the day because they would have like a glimpse of like find out why blah 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 or like find out like you know what I mean. And I think it was for a while, for like a week or two, it was like find out where Coco came from. We're gonna because Coco was depressed because she wanted to go home. I think chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was a whole arc that they had for a while.
Well, I thought there was something involving like I know I think it was something like Blue didn't believe that she was an imaginary friend because there was something to her that like the aspect of her didn't make any sense to imaginary friends. Like there was something missing that like imaginary friends were able to tell.
I don't know. I have no clue. Maybe. I think
not to get like too deep, but I feel like imaginary friends are the things that give you stuff, and Coco literally gives you stuff.
But they found her like, I think they found her like deserted on a desert island or something.
Yeah, I think it was in the jungle. Scientists found her. And
which
I think
like
she actually came back to visit Coco.
Well, that's the thing is like the scientist from it's hard to tell what because I remember that one because I always think about that one. And I think it was something that was like it was hard to tell if the scientist was just like on that deserted island as a child, like, you know, let's just say her dad was like an evil scientist that had an evil island kind of thing, or if it genuinely was some kind of fictional creature that existed in this universe. I think that's how they left it is what is Coco.
But if we could take away one thing from Zach from that show is that we will always know that it is hot in Topeka.
It is.
Yeah, it is so hot in Topeka. There was so in our local area, if you go down my street and you go towards the place that is the front of water, there was a sign back whenever we were probably like 13 that said Topeka, and every time I saw that, I would go, "It's hot in Topeka," and my mom would be like, "What are you saying?" I'd be like, "It's
Dude,
hot in Topeka,"
That's the only reason I know.
and then I
Topeka's
would
in
go
Florida.
Topeka, and then she'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, and shout out, but like back to the movie. Phenomenal ending. Phenomenal ending when Mrs. Foster rolls out. Blue's like, we thought you were dead.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not dead. What the fuck are you talking about? She's like the most lively person at that fucking home.
Yeah,
Mr. Harriman, shout out to Mr. Harriman.
Mr. Harriman.
He's an asshole, but he's a G at the same time.
That's
I,
usually how they end up being.
Absolute
Yeah.
favorite was not
Gen
I shouldn't
1,
say
Mr.
absolute
Mosby.
favorite, but I would definitely like to have a Eduardo. I feel like Eduardo would just be like so much fun
Shout out to
to goof
Eduardo.
off with.
Eduardo's awesome. Yeah, I agree. Anyway, top 5, number 5.
Yeah, number
Foster
5.
Family.
Great pick. Great pick.
No, I definitely agree. Like if
Awesome. It was on Netflix for a while, started watching it, and the life had other plans. I don't even know if it is still.
you
It's
can
probably
you can
I
watch it
know
for
it.
free online on
I think
many
it's on my-
websites that I could
think
send
it's my
you.
Boomerang app actually. That Boomerang that I subscribe to now because I'm a fucking idiot. But anyway,
Dude, I'll just send you a website.
dude,
don't
I have
subscribe
it.
to
I paid
Boomerang.
for it. Dude, it's here and gone. It's too late.
Matt. What's your number 5, Matt?
My number 5 is Danny Phantom.
Danny Phantom.
Dude, Danny
Great.
motherfucking Phantom.
Oh, he was
dude,
honestly-
Dude, the only other applicable version of Gotta Catch 'Em All, man.
That's facts.
I love Danny Phantom.
He was
Dude,
highly considered for my
tell me
list.
that you were a kid and you didn't want Ghost
Gotta
Powers,
catch 'em
my
all 'cause
guy.
he's Danny Phantom.
Gotta catch him all. 'Cause
The
he's
theme
Danny
song
Phantom.
is
Gotta catch him all 'cause
banging,
he's
too.
Danny Phantom.
Honestly,
Dude,
one of the first
great.
shows that had like
Great.
a story that went through the seasons that I've watched.
Dude,
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely revolutionary
I
in that
love
regard.
I love the meme. It's like why I love goth and toxic women, and it's like the girl
it's
from
Sam.
Danny Phantom. It's
Yeah.
Sam. It's Azula, and then it's someone else.
Yeah, I just saw that I think today or
It's
yesterday. on
it's
Twitter.
Sam and it's the girl from Total Drama Island.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
those
yeah.
two.
Oh
I
my
love
God, that
the
show.
memes now. It's like the reason you're attracted to, or the reason you've been fucked for so long is when you chose Azula over Ty Lee.
Yeah.
That's also
True.
I don't know who's doing that though. You really messed up.
I'm guilty, bro.
I'm totally guilty.
But yeah, I really like the character. Like all the character designs are really good on the show too. Like,
Honestly,
they do the
yeah.
monster of the week thing very well.
Yeah. Really cool how I love how I think as a kid I really was drawn to the idea of something special happens, cuz he's kind of like a superhero in the same sense of Spider-Man and all that. Like something happened to him and now
He's basically
half
Spider-Man, and
Yeah.
he's very very as similar as you probably could get away with making a character.
Yeah, I think I love Danny Phantom. How he just ghosts out randomly, and he's like that first
yeah.
season is him figuring out how to control it. And then if I recall, the finale or close to the end, he's god tier ghost. He's just on it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they had
Yeah.
the special where he fought himself from the future. That was
Yeah.
That was so good.
Danny Phantom.
I mean,
Love
honestly-
Danny Phantom.
Honestly, Butch Hartman. Butch Hartman
Hartman,
is
yeah.
who needs all the credit for all of Nickelodeon's bangers are because of Butch Hartman.
Not sure who that man is, and I feel bad.
What?
Yeah.
He's the literal creator of Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom, and anything that has that art style.
Shout out to Fairly Odd Parents. Is he the man who would always go on
Yes.
on the TV and show you how to draw
Yeah.
people?
He's the
Yeah.
creator of all those shows.
Oh,
This is
that
all him.
guy. I love
I
that
guess
stuff when he
makes
would draw Danny
sense.
Phantom
Yeah,
and
it
Fairly
made
Odd
me want
Parents
to do
and
it,
Turner.
and I never did.
No, but honestly, these last two, I could have easily, placed them in a, I don't know, my top 5 if I could have multiple top 5s.
Yeah, I agree.
It's in a bracket for sure.
I love it.
it's
Yeah.
it's a set of top 5, like or of number 5 in my top 5. Like it would be a set of top 5 shows.
Absolutely.
Right.
Colin, speaking of your top 5, what is your number 5?
My number 5 is, so I'm gonna preface mine as well.
Preface.
I judged mine
Preface.
on Colin
Preface.
at that age. Now, Colin at looking back on that age, what shows are my favorite? Like after I rewatched them and did all that, as an adult went back and looked at them, and now I have different feelings towards different ones. But Colin at that age would have said Jimmy Neutron for number 5.
Jimmy Neutron's great.
Jimmy Neutron is phenomenal.
Jimmy Neutron,
Boy
the
genius.
amazing misadventures and adventures that he would go on. And they had a new science experiment every single episode, and it was fantastic. I think the spin-off with Planet Sheen was just lacking the fact that there was something new every time, but it didn't feel like Jimmy Neutron new. Like every time there was a Jimmy Neutron episode, you knew you were getting something new and good.
Dude, something I loved about Jimmy Neutron is the fact, and honestly, fuck it, it's my number 4. Jimmy Neutron is my number 4. I feel like they made a movie. They made a movie about
What's the
Jimmy
movie?
Neutron, and then they were like, we have enough here that we think we can make it, but they fucking full sended it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is like you wouldn't. I feel like Disney, as much as I love all the you take Aladdin, right? Aladdin's great. Aladdin, the movies are great. The Aladdin TV series, I love it, but it definitely feels like that. Like, all right, the movie was good, but who really wants to see this? And like you feel that like hesitation there. Jimmy Neutron is just full send. We're doing this. This is exactly what the people want, and we're gonna give it to them.
Well, I think
Yeah.
part of it also.
It's so good.
I think part of it also is just the fact that in Jimmy Neutron they're just plain old kids, and like shows like Phineas and Ferb and like that, and Fairly Odd Parents. It's great to have like those imaginative adventures and stuff that gets kids interested in stuff, and Jimmy Neutron did that a lot.
And that's honestly like one of the biggest things behind a lot of the things that I like. Like I state, and every time that we bring this up, is adventures. It has to be adventurous, or else I'm not super like I'll be into it, but I'm not saying it's my favorite.
Dude, Ultra Lord.
Ultra Lord,
Ultra
fantastic.
Lord and
My
Llamas.
favorite, one of my favorite episodes, I should say, is whenever they get deserted on the island and they build the insane civilization that they build.
Yeah. I love
is
the
a great
game show
episode.
one. The game show one was so good.
Game show one's fun.
Survivor-esque.
I like. Oh yeah,
Love
the one.
that.
I like the one where they go in the video game and they have to.
Oh yeah.
That one is great. That one was great.
Dude, no, I love the memes now after Infinity War where it's Carl going, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
Dust.
I think one of the things that I really liked about Jimmy Neutron was he was so misunderstood. Like, here's the thing: is this
Yeah.
guy was under surveillance by not just the CIA, but the Secret Service of the United States was like on this kid's butt. And
He was the
Sydney-
original. He was the young Rick. He was the young Rick.
He was a young Rick, and he might even be Rick. You never know. But Sydney just thought that, or Cindy. I don't know why I said Sydney.
Cindy.
Cindy thought that she was smarter than him.
Nah,
This
dude,
man
she
has a
wanted-
freaking
nah.
rocket.
She didn't
This
think
man
she was
built a
smarter
rocket.
than
This
him.
man built a
she
robot
wanted that
dog.
dick, dude. She wanted the
She
Jimmy
did, but at the same
Neutron
time, she
dick.
genuinely felt like she was smarter than him too.
I don't know. I think she just wanted that dick. And it was,
No,
it was
she would
I
have all
think it was
kinds of competitions
all
about who was
long
smarter.
con. I think it was a long con, dude.
Oh, it probably was. But
Oh, no.
honestly, like the
Like,
fact that
I think she didn't realize it. I think she self-embedded the idea I'm smarter than him because she wasn't old enough to understand that she wanted the dick, so she had to like outlet it to what she understood at that age.
But like,
Man.
I just remember everybody being like, "Oh, Jimmy, you idiot," and blah blah blah. And it's
Yeah, all the
like
time.
the man
all the time.
literally turned Miss Fowl into a like
Chicken?
100-yard tall
fowl?
plant creature
Oh.
thing. Like, how are you gonna sit there and say this kid's a moron?
I think you know what? I think that speaks to actual genius. Because like, think about how many intelligent people that we regard for building something or creating something in actual society, who originally during their time of wherever they lived were thought of as dumb imbeciles. Like, how can you fucking believe this thing? And then what the work they actually did now that we have the like time to see how it affected society, now that we hold in such high regard. I think that could almost be a depiction of that type of thing. Whereas like at the time, yeah, Jimmy does something phenomenally cool in science and like arguably better and good for people. But at the time, people don't realize that it's different. It's new. They don't like it. Fuck that. It fucks some shit up. Some people maybe died. Whatever. I'm not condoning that. But years later, like, yeah, actually, at the end of the day, he actually accomplished something phenomenal and something that was only bettered the standard for what the status quo was.
I don't know. I
feel like that could be simulated.
I think the
I don't
big
know.
thing was his shed lair was so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
His parents didn't
tell
know
me
about
one
it,
kid
right?
that didn't
They
want
thought he
that.
was just vibing in their actual shed.
You either
Yeah.
wanted that or the Conan Kids Next Door treehouse.
Dude, talk about the codename Kid Next Door treehouse.
Yeah, but like I honestly would have loved to have his little shed because they even outfitted it just for him. So like even if I would have just had a shed that I could go to, that would be so cool. Like it was honestly really
Yeah.
like the whole Jimmy Neutron thing was just so much fun. Going
Yeah.
into Carl's dreams, that was a great episode.
I think
Oh,
the
that was
lima
so
bean.
good.
I think to I think to take it a little further, if you want to like play in that like imaginative world, like seeing it from Jimmy's perspective, maybe none of that was real. Maybe he was a really smart kid. Maybe he whatever, but he also had an active imagination. In his lair, all the adventures they went on, maybe they weren't actually real. Maybe they were just projections of their imagination, how kids play. That's, I think, a cool scenario. I like to not believe that that's the case, but at the same time, who knows?
I mean, I don't think that that's how it is.
I don't think it is either. I like that's not my way.
Yeah, I think it's cool to have those kind of conspiracies and be like, ooh, but like in all, I don't think that's how it is. I think there's certain ones like with Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think the conspiracies with that, like, you know, this is how dogs see people whenever they approach the house, and like Courage is gonna see the mailman as this terrible thing. So like, yeah, I can get behind that because it kind of makes sense. But like, there's some that like I hear these like conspiracies for TV shows and stuff, and I go, I just don't know if I can be on top of that.
My parents forbade me from watching Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Yeah, my parents did too. They were like, I don't want to deal with you having nightmares, but I still watch.
Yeah, no, it was Nightmares. That was it. That was it too.
It was Nightmare City, but it was.
I was the snowman episode. The snowman came to life, and I had a nightmare about the snowman.
I never had any nightmares about it, but my parents were like, we're just not dealing with it. So I was like, okay.
Oh no, I had nightmares. It was the snowman. The snowman. There was like either one or two of the snowman episodes. I watched it. Gave me nightmares for I don't even know how long. Kept my parents up, and after that, my parents were like, "No, you're not watching it." I was like, "No, but I want to." But they're like, "No."
But I won't.
Maybe that's where my aversion for scary movies came from. Is that like I thought like if I liked something I couldn't watch it, but
I don't know. I mean, I never really. I'm not gonna say that I truly enjoyed Courage the Cowardly Dog either. Like I'm not somebody who really enjoys scary movies. I don't get the point of them. I'm not usually scared of them either. They just
I don't
aren't
like
that much
scary
fun.
movies. Yeah, but.
But anyway, Colin, number 5 for Jimmy Neutron.
Before we move on,
Awesome show.
Awesome.
Jimmy Power Hours.
The Jimmy Timmy Power
By the way,
Hours.
just
yeah.
throw it out there.
Yeah,
No, I forgot about those specials. They were so
It was
good.
kind of like
so
the
amazing.
Sweet Life of Hannah Montana.
That's so Sweet Life of Hannah
crossover
Montana.
stuff.
That's so Sweet Life of Hannah Montana. Yeah.
But just to shout out another episode when they go to Egypt and Libby is the queen.
That is literally the episode I remember. Every time I think of Jimmy Neutron.
Phenomenal episode.
That's
when
the one
they
I always
just
think of.
dip out. There were so many like situations in school whenever we're watching a movie or a video that I like romanticized about like, yo, what if we just scooted and went to Egypt?
And booted.
Or whenever Carl's turtle turns into like a giant sea creature.
That's a good one. It's like a Jaws episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I love it.
All right, I'm ready
Let's
to move on. If we want to
Yeah,
move on.
yeah. You're good.
Like,
You're
I
good.
don't want to keep
Mr.
taking up other
Host,
people's
let's keep
time.
going.
No,
Fine.
no, you're fine. You're fine. My number 4 is one I'm expecting to at least be on someone else's list. I hope so. I'll be really disappointed if it's not. My number 4 is Teen Titans.
Teen Titans. That's a great one. That could have made my number 5 set as well.
Not Teen Titans Go, but honestly, I've seen a couple episodes of Teen
Dude,
Titans Go, and
Teen
that show is
Titans phenomenal.
low-key fire. The movie's fantastic. Of Teen Titans Go, the movie's fantastic. But Teen Titans, I think, is the show that really got me into like the series of stuff that kept going over other seasons, like Colin talked about for Danny Phantom.
Yeah.
Like, everything was Slade. Love Slade, dude. I don't know who voice acted him or what.
It
but
was I'm pretty sure it's the guy who voices Hellboy.
Really?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me. I'll confirm
Yeah,
that. real
Jamie
quick.
looked that up in a minute, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the guy who voices Hellboy for Slade.
but that show's just
I know who you're talking about,
so good. What was that, Matt?
I know who he's talking about. I
Yeah.
can't remember his name.
Yeah, but the relationships that were just built between all the Teen Titans and everything were just fantastic. There was
It's definitely not BoJack Horseman.
it's not a BoJack Horseman type of relationship.
It's not a BoJack Horseman show.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the Will Arnett. He voices Slade.
I love Will
Will
Arnett.
Arnett voices Slade.
I love Will.
Yeah, and in Teen Titans Go. Yeah, Slade is
and-
Ron
and
Perlman.
In Teen
wait,
Titans Go.
Yeah,
and
Ron
Teen
Perlman.
Titans
yeah,
Go.
Teen Titans Go. And Teen Titans Go to the movies, Will Arnett voices Slade. But
What
Ron
about
Perlman,
regular Teen Titans?
Ron Perlman, the guy who
Ron Perlman. Oh my
That
god, I
is the voice
freaking
of Slade.
love Ron.
Another
Such a
great
good-
Ron.
such an iconic voice. Even if you don't
I
know the
freaking
actor,
love
even if you
Ron
can't,
Perlman.
like, there's so many times I've watched something or done something or like seen something where I'm like, what the fuck is that voice? I've heard that voice. I've googled it. I'm like, of course, it's Ron Perlman. It's Hellboy.
I mean,
You know.
if you've watched Sons of Anarchy, as much as you hate Ron Perlman's character, he does such a freaking good job at being that character.
Well, also to shout out Troll Hunters, which I just recently.
Troll Hunters is great.
Fantastic.
Great.
There's a character named Boyle. Oh, wait, you watched Troll Hunters?
Yeah, man.
Dude,
Dude,
that's an- all
this
right,
is my
all right,
third
that's a-
time through the Netflix series.
Bro, that's a conversation for after, but we have things to talk about. But yeah, he voices Bular, which is another character. A phenomenal voice acting cast. But anyway.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, it just Teen Titans just in
Rob,
general. I feel like all the characters had their own like independent paths, especially like Raven and Starfire, like within
Raven
the
for
show.
sure. Absolutely.
Absolutely. If that wasn't your emo chick, then there you go. But
So I'm going to say right now, it didn't make my top 5.
It didn't make
Really?
mine either.
Dude, it was
Teen
tough.
Titans
It
would have
was
been
tough.
my
was
top,
tough.
like my number 5 set.
My main reason
my
for
God, I'm so
for it
disappointed.
not specifically was the fact that when I was younger, I didn't actually watch Teen Titans fully or religiously as I did other shows. I really honestly didn't give
Exactly.
a fuck. I didn't give a fuck about Teen Titans until I caught this string of episodes with specifically Robin and Slade.
Yep.
yeah,
It was like the only thing that was on, and I put that on. It was like 3 episodes in a row that like built on that arc, and that's what hooked me. Because at the time, didn't like Batman, so Robin meant nothing to me. All the other characters, had no idea who they were as far as superheroes were concerned. But seeing the dynamic and seeing what was going on with Robin and Slade, I was like, whoa, I'm hooked. And that was the first time I've ever felt from like a show I watched when I was younger, like a kid's show, of that like feeling of like what is happening, what's going on, like what's happening mentally with Robin, and like watched it in depthly to the way that I watch shows now. And,
yeah, like
think
when
about
Robin goes with Slade and everything.
when Robin goes with Slade,
Yeah.
he betrays the Titans. Even like the episode when Robin sees Slade and he's a figment of his imagination, but he's also not because of how much he believes it. Great,
Who?
fantastic.
I'm blanking on her name, but who was the blonde girl that was like a part of like Slade?
Tara.
Kara.
Era.
Tara. Yeah. Oh, dude, she
Beast
was
Boys-
good too.
Beast Boys Boo.
I love that arc. I loved it so
Yeah.
much.
The
Yeah.
beast.
Also, just a shout out. It's not right for me to include this on this list just because of everything, but Young Justice. Young Justice, all 3 seasons, phenomenal. Go watch those. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Teen Titans easily my number 4. That's just a show I
Solid
can always
pick.
look back fondly of. I loved it. I'm disappointed it's not in your guys' top 5. I was expecting to.
So am I, dude. So
Yeah.
am I. But
Yeah.
you know, sometimes
But
it has to happen that way.
Zach, if
Yo.
Teen Titans isn't in your top 5, then what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Jimmy Neutron. I already said this, but
Oh, that's right, you
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron. I feel like we've talked enough about it, but Jimmy Neutron's my number 4.
So if Jimmy Neutron's your number 4, Matt, what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Dragon Ball Z. I love
Interesting.
Huh.
Boo. We a boo.
That's
We
definitely
are
not even in my top
boo.
50.
That's fine. It doesn't have to be.
No, and I mean, like, that's definitely your taste. I am
Yeah, I
so
like it.
not
Tell
anime.
us,
No,
tell
for
us
sure.
why, Matt. Because it's honestly good you said it, because we hope to have some form of a weeb fan base. You know?
Dragon Ball Z isn't even weeb though.
Yeah, I would consider
Dude,
it the
don't even
least
talk
weeb
to me
thing.
about that. It absolutely is. Are you
No,
kidding
it's
me?
not.
That is baby's first weeaboo.
No,
Like,
it
that-
is.
no, it's
It is,
not.
but like, if
It
you're
is in
sitting
the
there,
sense- it's so American, dude.
it is very American.
Dude, I don't care.
like as
I don't
American as it
care. No, but like at least like with Pokemon, no, honestly, no, it's weeaboo. It was too weeaboo for me when I was a
No,
kid,
it's-
and that's why I never
No,
watched
no,
it.
Dragon Ball Z is as American as Pokemon. It is.
I can
No,
imagine
disagree
Zach as a
heavily.
little kid
It is.
seeing
It
Dragon
is.
Ball Z
You-
on
you're
TV.
allowed
I
to
couldn't even
disagree,
watch
but you're
Pokemon as a
Dude.
kid, honestly.
Oh,
Honestly, Dragon Ball Z's main fault for me was the fact that like I remember probably the first time I turned it on. I was like, all right, this looks interesting. What's going on? It was just 2 motherfuckers talking to themselves, like talking to each other for the entire time.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys look like you're about to throw down, but no. And then it was like, come back, like to be continued. And then I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like I watched the next episode and I was like, dude, I don't even know what you two are talking about. Neither one of you have thrown a single punch. Wait, I'm
And
done.
like,
I'm
there's
out.
even
It-
episode where they spend the whole episode just charging up.
It's
Yeah, it's like,
basically
what the-
pro wrestling, but in anime.
And
Yeah.
I hated wrestling when I was younger.
I hated
it.
wrestling
it was
too.
That was not me.
I didn't watch wrestling, but I love
Glares it wrong.
I enjoyed playing the video games though, because you could do dumb crap on the video
Yeah, the video
games.
games are fun. Just like, I mean, the powers that they have, like Akira Toriyama, like his character designs are unmatched by anyone. I would put his ability to make an interesting character design like above literally anyone. I think all of his designs are great. He really like entrances you into the world, and it's just fun. It's like stupid fun. Like you turned your brain off for like 30 minutes and just watch people punch each other, and it's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
could get
why I love
behind
it.
that, but I don't know. I definitely was on the same thing with Zach, where I kind of sat there and I was like, "Oh my god, is this what's going to happen for the next 3 episodes?"
Yeah, I don't even ever honestly recall seeing it on TV. I know I saw it like on one.
Tsunami.
I couldn't even tell you what channel it was on.
There's ups and downs for sure. Some arcs are a lot better than others.
Yeah, but I mean, sorry, Matt. But Dragon Ball Z number 4. Which one? Because I know there's different kinds of like what is it, like Dragon Ball Z Kai or what? Isn't there like different spin-off arcs or whatever?
I like Kai and Z
Kai
for
and
different reasons.
Okay.
I think if I was recommending it to someone who's never seen it before, I would say Kai. Z has a lot of unnecessary filler. We'll say that you really only watch for the charm of it.
Right.
It being
okay.
like late 80s, early 90s anime. They don't make the stuff like they used to, so it has a different way about it, I guess.
No,
Wasn't there
that's fair,
something
that's
that
fair.
like covered? Didn't it like cut out all the like talking crap and just kind of like move forward with the story?
Kai like removed all the filler, like a lot of filler.
That's good.
So
then.
it's
At
a
least
lot- it's a
for
lot more
people like
streamlined
me.
to
I'd
watch.
be more inclined to watch that.
Yeah, like
Thing.
you might like someone like you, Ron, who's never seen it, might fall out after like the first like 15 episodes, because there's a lot where like nothing quote unquote happens, but like stuff happens and it's kind of cool to watch. But only like,
Right.
but if you want a story that's like constantly progressing, you might want to direct yourself elsewhere.
I got you. That's more of the viewer that I am, honestly, in that sense. At least like the build up. But Colin, what is your number 4?
My number 4 is, you guys might say it's a little bit too low on my list, but again, my list is about what Colin thought at this time. Was Avatar.
Well, fun fact for the audience, I didn't watch it till quarantine when it came on Netflix. And if I were to have watched that as a kid, it would 100% be on my list.
Me and Uncle Scott and Scott would sit down and watch Avatar in the living room for hours. And I didn't know when it was on, because again, this is back in early days where, I think we finally got Comcast with guides and stuff, where usually you had to like, if you wanted to know when something was on, you had to go to the TV guide, or you had to like religiously follow it. And as a kid, you don't have the kind of brain power to comprehend that kind of crap. So I only watched it whenever my Uncle Scott was like, oh, I recorded the new episode, and then we'd sit down and watch like the last 3 episodes and then to that episode.
So you did
my
like a little
Uncle
like
Scott
marathon.
He was his favorite show. I kid you not. And this man was, like 42, 43 at the time. His favorite show on TV was Avatar at that time. He loved it. So we would sit down, and that's what we would watch, is we would just sit down and watch Avatar. It's some of my most fond memories. But yeah, it's mainly just because young Colin didn't understand what TV was at the time, and he just watched shows that were on. So Avatar is making number 4 for young Colin.
That's fair, and I feel like I mean, I doubt this is the last time we talk about Avatar. I can't talk about it, but
it will not be.
Yeah, I know it won't be, and I guarantee Zach will be talking about it too. But honestly, after watching it, I kind of wish now, like, I did watch it as a kid, but to be honest, I really don't think, like, how old were you guys when it came out? I guess how old were we when it came out?
Wasn't it like 2006?
We were probably like 8 or 9 years old. I don't think I would have been able to stuck with that show. It, like, at least to watch it every week, you know what I mean? Because I didn't really do that much as a kid, unless they.
I remember specifically, like, when they aired the finale on TV, they did like all of them in a week.
Yeah.
Back. A lot of shows did that.
I remember being very hyped and watching, like, being in front of my TV when I knew they're coming on. It aired 05 to 08, by the way, for the folks at home.
Yeah, I knew it was like somewhere in that era.
Yeah, because I remember at least like for like SpongeBob episodes or a lot of like the big like season finales, they would do like a 24-hour marathon if the show was big enough to do that, and it would just run all the way through. Maybe pause when Nick at Night came on, and then it would just lead up right to the episode, and then you'd watch the episode and be like, oh, okay, cool. But I feel like for Avatar, that's really nice to do, because that has the story that's consistent throughout, where like stuff like SpongeBob, you could just jump in for the one episode and then leave.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not an overarching thing for the most part, unless it was like a movie or something, or like an hour special.
Yeah, I think it's just, young Colin, just, he really didn't have the ability to comprehend when shows would be on. And nor was he like somebody, like, not that I didn't have the ability to comprehend it, but like that stuff just goes over your head as a kid. Like, you're more worried about what am I watching right now, not what am I going to watch on Friday. So the only times that I would care about that stuff was a few times whenever I noticed a commercial for it. And that would probably be a discussion for later for my like number 1.
No, yeah. I mean, as long as Avatar's at least on your top 5, me as an outsider from somebody who didn't watch as a childhood can be okay with that. But
whenever Avatar got put on Netflix, I bullied 2 of my friends to watch it. Ron was one of them.
Yeah.
And I enlightened 2 people. And it's
you brought me to like after Tiger King, I needed to watch something, But boys, we're now in the top 3. Wait, you good, Zach? Are you good? You just
good.
Oh, it's nice.
Yeah, dude.
Being an echo.
So I muted myself real quick because I went to grab a water. Don't know how
Who,
much of
water? Who
everything
drinks water?
That yeah, honestly. Don't know how much of anything that I said you heard. Honest to God, thought you guys were being assholes.
We didn't hear you at all for Collins and for Matt.
Yeah. Oh well.
Not even a little bit, actually.
That's
That's
crazy.
Yeah. Give your
Dragon Ball sucks.
Yeah, okay.
And Avatar.
We'll talk about it later.
Great show, amazing show. I
didn't come here to be attacked. All right.
I guess we'll talk about it later. Yeah. Honestly, the moment's gone. Sorry, folks, for you listening at home. I know you must be broken up that you don't have my.
All my homies love Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I saw the cute little mute icon next to Zach's name for way too long, and I was like, I assumed your parents came in. I was like, you know what? Nah, that's probably not what happened.
No, it's not. Anyway,
but boys, we're in the top 3 now of top 5.
Top 3.
And I'm leading the charge this time. My number 3 show from my childhood, to no one's surprise, Ed, Edd n Eddy.
That's
another
low.
top 5 set.
That's low for what I thought it was gonna be.
Dude, what I mean,
It's a good pick, though.
if you don't know number 1, Zach, I'm a little nervous on what you thought I was gonna choose.
Honestly, if Ed, Edd n Eddy's number 3, I think the one that I would have fucking hated is Out of the Running.
Out of the Running, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk.
I'll tell you.
We'll
I'll tell you after.
I'll talk post show. But Ed, Edd n Eddy. What if at least for me? What can you not say about that show? Just the goofy, like, stupidness that was that show. And honestly, if you rewatch it, you're just like, what was this, man? There's literally a child with a wooden plank with crayon as, like, just the face on it. But granted, we did talk about Foster's Home for Imaginary Kids.
Well, this is one of those shows that has those conspiracies that I can kind of get behind.
Yeah, that shows a lot of weird, like, conspiracy movies. But I remember how heartbroken
dude,
I was.
Ed didn't have fucking steps, bro.
Dude, all Ed needed was a rock in his shoe, and the man was an unstoppable killing machine. But Ed and a fantastic show. But I remember the series finale was like an hour. It was like a movie or like an hour special, and I remember I had Zach.
Eddie's brother, right?
Well, yeah, it was with Eddie's brother.
It was trying to find his brother.
That was the big reveal, was the brother. And I remember I had to have Zach record it because I wasn't home. And he recorded it for me. And I guess we didn't have, like, DVR at the time, like, in my house. And I know Zach did. So I remember watching it at Zach's house, like, the actual finale. But that movie was so good. It was such a good wrap-up of the show. It was a really weird kind of ending. I forget, was it the kid who had playing, was his name Jimmy?
Jimmy. Yeah, it was Jimmy.
Yeah, they had like that weird, like that he's like the watermelon villain or whatever. I forget what his villain name was. The end, they kind of like alluded to something like being done with that, I guess, because at the end, but I guess it was probably just like a funny little quippet that I wouldn't have caught like as a little kid. As a kid, I thought they were gonna do more, but I guess not. But that was like the series finale. Was that special? Freaking
dude, honestly, every time I go to reference you guys, in my brain, every time I say like Zach or Matt or Ron, I immediately go Ron boy or Ed boy. You know, like in my brain, that is exactly what happens every single time.
Shout out to Rolf.
Rolf. Mr. Rolf.
Wasn't like a whole big joke in the show too, just not even knowing like where he came from and everything. Double D just being bald, just wearing like a sock on his head.
Yeah,
Double D was my favorite.
Yeah, Double D.
No, that's an unpopular opinion.
Ed is my favorite.
Ed? Yeah.
Yeah.
Double D
He
was
is
my favorite.
easily my favorite.
Well, I remember like the video game too. The Misadventures was also fantastic.
You know what's crazy weird? Whenever I was younger, the smart kid, like the smart person in the group, was always my favorite. Simon was my favorite chipmunk. Double D was my favorite Ed. And Donatello was my favorite Ninja Turtle. And I have no clue why. That was.
Yeah, I like Double D, but honestly, the episode where was it that Ed's sister was sick? I forget exactly what it
there
was.
An episode where she
Isn't
was.
that the girl who fucks with Jimmy?
No, she fucks with Double D.
Yeah.
No one fucking
Yeah, well, and Eddie. She just messes with the whole group because she's the young
I
little
meant
sister
like,
that's
I meant
evil.
like, I
No,
meant
in like a crush way. No, she had like a crush on Double D.
no,
Well, yeah, but she's also the evil young sister that would just mess
Sarah?
with the group as well.
I'm pretty sure she did.
Sarah?
The redhead? Yeah,
That's wild.
So
pretty sure.
I think my favorite thing was they spent like an entire episode in Ed's basement, and
Yeah.
he's like worried about what his mom's gonna think whenever she gets home because he's trying to babysit Sarah. And I just kind of sat there and I was like, this is such like everything was about Ed, and Ed was just so animated. And I don't mean animated as in like obviously the show was animated, but like his character was so alive and animated, like something that I feel like some child would do.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, of just like being locked in the rooms. Yeah, I mean,
I think something that obviously
With
nobody
older
got
sisters, it's
until
definitely that
much
way.
later was the Canker sisters being named after canker sores.
wait,
What?
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What were their names? What was it? What they
No,
were?
just like the reason that they were canker was because of canker sores. Like that's what the
Isn't that something you get
writer
on your
wrote it
foot?
for. Yeah, it was. I mean, it's just like just adds on to the grossness of the canker sisters.
I see.
My parents weren't very well. I shouldn't say my parents. My mom didn't like me watching the show. I don't know why. It's not like it was a bad show, but she just like was like, I don't want it to give you ideas, and I was like, ideas about what? Like
Being
burning alive
stupid.
on top of a rock?
Being
Like I
stupid.
don't know. I don't know what kind of ideas it's going to give me. Wanting to go down to the 50-cent store to get a Jawbreaker? Like I don't know.
Dude, I tell you what, man, I never had a Jawbreaker before I watched that show, and whenever I actually got a Jawbreaker, I did not believe that it actually was a Jawbreaker. It was the most like disappointing thing I've ever. I know.
Dude, I never had a
obvious-
Jawbreaker.
Well, it depends on if you got
To this day,
Airheads.
I never had a Jawbreaker.
If you got Airheads or if you got like a legitimate Jawbreakers. Because Jawbreakers that are like, if you go to a candy store and got a
Oh, they're
Jawbreaker,
huge.
they're
huge.
massive.
They're huge.
But if you
Okay,
get like the
then
my
Airhead
uncle-
ones,
I'd
they're
rather
like the
Airheads.
size of a peanut M&M.
My Uncle Bill Williams' father, when I was a young lad, whenever my aunt was a young lass, I remember he had a Jawbreaker and he showed me it. Or for whatever reason, I think he liked them. He had an affinity for them. I don't know what was going on, but it basically told me they're like I in my head, like how at Ed and Eddie they were like, oh, you like basically eat them in one sitting. He was like, nah, dude, you don't do that. This is like a ride that you like suck on, like not like you pop it in your mouth and suck on it. You like suck on it, and then yeah.
No.
Oh
50
yeah,
Cent
like
fans
you're in for a ride whenever you put in a Jawbreaker. But at the same time, they were just. I mean, it. If you're a kid and you're sitting there going, "What's the most sugary thing I can do?" It was pretty much a Jawbreaker for the 90s.
Yeah, look, I might
Yeah, for
actually
sure.
buy one. I've never actually bought and finished a Jawbreaker. I've never had one, so I might do it. Maybe that's a bucket list.
We could have an Ed and Eddie day and watch Ed and Eddie and eat Jawbreakers.
Dude, I'm down.
Eat a Jawbreaker, yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can definitely
do
go
a
through a few.
Jawbreaker gauntlet, bro.
I don't know.
I'm here for it.
I mean, maybe with Matt
I
sucking
guess if you
ability-
salivate like me, like yeah, you'll go through a few.
dude.
Unmatched.
But yeah, and then Eddie's my number 3. Zach.
Yo,
What's
yo,
your number
yo. My number 3 is Code Name Kids Next Door.
That is another one of my number 5 set.
Tell us why, Zach.
Codenames Kids Next Door. Fuck me up, dude. I loved it, man. I watched it and I wished I had a treehouse like that. I wish I was a part of some secret society that had fucking like made like jerry-rigged guns and weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was amazing. Like it was so cool. It was so cool. Like people talk about, oh, I've always been waiting for my like letter from Hogwarts, whatever. I was waiting for my fucking invitation for the Codenames Kids Next Door for the longest time. And like I love the way it captures how children can see adults, you know, as like this tyrannical force that is bent on destroying fun and destroying as a child, like civilization, quotation marks, you know. um and I
But
think
it's also inevitable.
right, and I think like how kind of Colin was talking about, or Colin, how when Colin was talking about Jimmy Neutron, how I was talking about like the idea of like what if it was all in their head. I feel like Codename's Kid Next Door, it's like you kind of see it from a child's point of view, you know. And there's one picture I saw on Instagram where it's like a kid on a bike looking up at the treehouse, like massive as shit with all the stuff like you see in the cartoon, and then right under that, kind of like a young adult standing in front of the house, or not even standing in front of the house, standing in front of the tree, and it's literally just like a box in the tree. And I thought that like kind of like maybe that's just more what I'm taking from it now, as like that, since I've been through everything, you know, I've been through that ride. I'm now that adult looking at the tree. But it just, I think it's so cool on how it like depicts childhood and the way the ideas you can draw from it and the way kids' imaginations are. And it's also just fun. Like take away all
Their
that
villains were so much fun.
Yeah, like take away all the existential stuff, all that like oh like shit, all that bullshit I've been talking about. It's such a good show. It's an amazing show that like just like it makes sense, you know. Of course, like father represents like the stereotypical like hard parents,
Helicopter
you
dad.
know? Yeah, like, and then you know, like the old granny, the cat lady, like of course like that's the weird girl, like the weird person on the block. And
Toiletnator.
Toiletnator. Oh my god, I love the one episode where it's nothing but Toiletnator getting thrown out of the fucking house, out of the treehouse, and like he comes in and there's just like fuck it, what are you doing here, dude? Click button, bop, gone. I love Codename Kids Next Door. And like I said to you guys before, I really wish they made like a TV series about like when like they transitioned into teenagers. And yeah, like I love the like how Colin, you said just now, it's inevitable. You know,
Yeah.
I loved how it kind of tackled the idea of like you grow up, you know, like they have that like ceremony of like, oh, these esteemed agents of the kids next door having to have their mind wiped because of
then they had the like Secret Service of the kids next door,
yeah,
the teenagers.
Yeah, the very few. Yeah. I think that's really cool. I think that's amazing. And honestly is very depictive of kind of how it actually is. You know, it's not like we have our mind wiped, but like there's a shift, like something all of a sudden like clicks in your brain or changes that you think about things so much differently.
I think it's you just really get this different grasp on reality, because like whenever you're a kid, I think the biggest thing is like the world is a mystery because you don't know anything about it. And then suddenly like something happens in like the middle school area where like all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, this is reality at this point.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, that's the decommissioning part, is like, that's why like, you know, everybody gets decommissioned from the kids next door, is because they hit a certain point where they're mature and they start to agree with what adults believe, because they hit that point where they're like, no, this is actually reality. The mystery that is the world has been, you know, revealed to me. And I no longer have this mystery of what the world is.
I agree with that. Incredibly.
Yeah. And honestly, like in a weird way, that's why like there's things that, you know, for instance, things that we will do together or things that I'll do with my lady. And, you know, you guys are like, oh my god, isn't this so much fun? But like I did it so much as a kid because my mother wanted me to like, you know, go out and do these things, that like places like our local amusement park is just no longer any fun to me whatsoever, because I went like 7 times a summer. And as a kid, that's fantastic. But now I kind of sit there and I go, the mystery's gone. Like, I'm no longer sitting there going, oh my god, am I tall enough to ride the ride? Like, no, I'm tall enough to ride the ride now. I'm tall enough to have a beer while I'm on the ride if I want to, you know? Like, the mystery's kind of gone with the ride, and you're no longer like this, whenever you're a kid and you go, I rode the scary ride, people go, oh my god, you rode that ride, like you're a big tough kid, but now it's like, oh my god, you rode the ride and you didn't have back pain.
True. And we're 20.
Yeah.
In our early 20s.
Hey Matt,
What?
what are you up to, dude?
I'm listening.
You know what,
You're
Matt?
listening? I can't help but notice. I just got a Twitter message in our group chat.
No, you know what Matt's up
Did
to,
you read
right,
it?
Zach?
You've been awfully quiet since.
Well, did you read it though? Let me know when you read it.
Zach, what Matt
Jake
has...
Gyllenhaal? He gets it. I don't get it. But
Matt, what-
Codename Kids Next Door, phenomenal show. That's my number 3.
Yeah, Matt has been up to telling us what his number 3 is.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ron's the one keeping track of all
It
this.
goes me, Zach, Matt, you. Or me, Zach, Matt, Colin. So, yeah. You're up, Splat.
My number 3 was
Focus up,
Star
bitch.
Wars, The Clone Wars, the animated series.
Holy shit! I don't know. We were all right.
You didn't know what?
These are shows
Not-
from when we were kids.
No. I mean,
Watch it. when
all
you were
right.
a kid.
All right. No, you're good. You're good. Go ahead.
I did. I watched it when it first started, and then I kept up with it later. Like I went back and
yeah.
watched.
I mean, I
more
did the
of it.
same. That's why I didn't include it because I didn't like. I didn't like. I did
still-
that. That's why
I
I
still
didn't.
look. I watched like most of it.
Okay. All right.
But Matt, tell us why.
Yeah, I didn't watch it
I
till
mean,
much
solid
later.
pick. Like that's a whole podcast on
mean-
its own.
Yeah,
That is true.
Star Wars: The Clone Wars has some of the best Star Wars content put to motion picture.
Absolutely.
Honestly, it's a
Absolutely.
lot of it gets to peak lore. Whenever you're just diving into it, it just adds so much to the world of. I don't know if I'd call it the Old Republic. I guess it's just the Republic at that point. The Old Republic is nonsense that isn't canon anymore. But I mean, it's just good, fun Star Wars. Like, it's broken up into like different arcs, so that way, like, if you're binging the series and with this one arc's kind of mid, you could skip like 2 or 3 episodes ahead and just watch all the stuff that you like, which I think is really smart and leads to a lot of the better story beats in the Star Wars franchise. And it's just a really fun watch all around. If you've seen the show, you know that we love Star Wars and are very
Oh,
vocal
yeah.
about our Star Wars opinions.
No, Star Wars,
But
the Clone Wars.
we universally love the Clone Wars a lot.
Star Wars, the Clone Wars, if young Colin had the grasp to follow that every week, would probably be much higher on my list.
I agree with Colin's statement.
Yeah, if you're a fan of Star Wars The Clone Wars or just a fan of Star Wars and you haven't watched our top 5 Star Wars episodes, you should probably just go about your day after
very
this and
violent.
watch it.
So if you want something that's very violent,
It's very
maybe
violent.
you
Yeah.
should watch it.
Yeah,
Not
it's
maybe, you should watch it if you're feeling very violent.
yeah, that's a good. If you're very
But
involved
no, I did
with your
give
favorite
it the
trilogy.
week to week for a very long time. Probably like
Yeah.
whenever I stopped watching week to week right before they introduced Maul back into the show, and then when it was on Netflix, and then they re-released like the lost episodes, I rewatched the whole series, and then obviously I watched all the new stuff that Disney has put out since.
Oh yeah,
Phenomenal.
Siege of
That's all I
Mandalore
have to
is
say.
I've
better than most of the films.
Dude, yeah, no, it is a phenomenal series. It's amazing. Everything about it is it's great. I really can't say any more without it becoming
we don't,
massive.
if we talk about more about this topic, then it's gonna turn into another Star Wars podcast.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
I agree with Matt's pick. I've never seen it, but just from how much you guys have talked about it, I know it's highly recommended. But we can move on in our
The
top
movie's
5
some
here.
type of ass though. That did not age well.
No,
No, it
no.
didn't age
All
well.
right. It didn't age well, but it wasn't some type of ass. It was
Fine.
great.
It was fine when
was-
it came out.
Matt,
I
all
watched,
right, listen.
No, I watched
Matt,
it like a couple
the
months ago. That
movie.
shit is-
The
it's-
movie the movie was our generation's only chance of seeing a Star Wars movie in theaters. I remember saying that, and that was like the thing that I was so adamantly
Oh, I saw it in the theater.
about. I still have all of the Happy Meal Halloween Happy Meal Halloween. What am I saying? Happy Meal toys from from McDonald's, because I was well above the age of when I should be getting a Happy Meal, but I specifically got Happy Meals every time I went to McDonald's purely for those toys because I wanted them, and they were Star Wars, and that's
Yeah.
how much it meant to me when it came out. So fuck that. Yeah, the movie doesn't age well, but it's awesome.
That was I saw that one in a drive-through.
Dooku and Anakin fighting in the middle of the desert. Great.
They introduced the best character, Captain Rex.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
He's a phenomenal. Yeah, he's a great character.
But Star Wars is
anyway,
Matt's number 3.
As we move,
Colin, who is your number 3?
My number 3 is Transformers: The 1984 series,
No
the
shit.
original series.
Dang.
I
Oldie. I didn't realize you were
out
talking to a
over
boomer.
Transformers. Like, I know people have their issues with the new Transformer movies, but I genuinely don't care. Transformers are some of the coolest stuff, and I will watch them and love them so much.
No, fuck that. The Transformer movies are great.
Transformers is some of my favorite content that I can watch. Like, if you just sit me down in front of Transformers, I will sit there for weeks.
Yeah, it was the Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf.
They're like, yeah, that
When
was
we were
the first.
kids, dude. That movie
They're
was
like
so good.
fine.
Dude, Megan
They're not
Fox.
Great.
All I'm saying, Megan Fox holds up.
Dude,
Wait,
Roll a
the-
New Girl dating
After seeing
MGK.
New Girl, dude, holds up.
She's dating Machine Gun Kelly now.
I don't know about anything about that.
My favorite thing with Transformers was, one, I had a lot of the mini cons, which, like, I don't know how much you guys are into the Transformers world,
Nah.
but mini cons were
Not
like
much.
tiny helper robots that the Transformers had.
Were they Wheelie and the other guy? Einstein? Wheelie and Einstein? Was that what those were?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
The one race car that was an asshole that kept trying to fuck Megan Fox.
Oh no! I thought you were talking. No, they didn't have any mini cons in those.
Oh, okay.
Mini cons are like, I'm talking like smaller than humans, or even like the same size as humans. Like, that's how small they were.
Yeah, Wheelie. Wheelie was the size of an RC car if it could turn into a Transformer.
Yeah, but I don't think he was. I think he was an actual, like. I don't think he was a mini. I don't remember honestly much from
I mean,
that
they
movie.
didn't say it. They didn't come out and specifically say it.
I don't really remember much from that movie. I really don't know what they considered him in that movie.
Alright.
I'm not like a super Transformer like lore person, if I'm being honest, but I'm super into Transformers. Like, I remember I was at like Target the other day and I saw like a bunch of Transformers sitting on the shelf, and I was like, if I had like money to spend, I would have immediately bought the entire shelf and just
Yeah.
went home and played with Transformers for like 5 hours. Like, Transformers were some of my favorite things, and also some of the things that I never got as a kid as
didn't know
well.
they
Like,
still
my parents
sold
just did
them.
not want to spend money on it. But I love the mini cons. I loved whenever they brought Omnicron into like one of the animated series whenever we were young, not the 1984 one. I wanted the Omicron playset, but you know, that is what it is. But yeah, Colin watched the hell out of Transformers 1984, and he had his grandma find all of the VHS sets and this and that. Like, he watched it hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too involved with the Transformers. I've only seen like just like one movie. One or
Oh
two
yeah, I've
movies,
never
honestly.
seen the
Yeah.
TV shows. I've only seen
I
the
think,
movies.
I think I could just speak for the.
I'm not
the rest of
involved
us
in the
here.
Transformers lore.
I would
respect the
highly
pick.
recommend. I would highly recommend certain series if you guys would sit down and watch it with me, because
Probably not.
easily my
To be
favorite.
honest with you,
I'll
there's a
try
lot
anything
of other
once.
things that people need to watch, but that's probably not it with the time schedules and all that bullshit.
I'll cuddle with you and watch it, Colin.
That's
But
fine.
All right, fuck it. I guess I'm an
Yo.
asshole. I'll watch it with you, Colin.
I
if
mean,
get
you are. You definitely are.
to move on to my number 2, Drake and Josh.
Drake and Josh, fantastic. Could have been my number 5
Was
set.
this a
banger.
show, Zach?
What's that?
I heard your sigh of like,
Disapproval.
yeah.
Dude, it's not disapproval. It's just
Was it
like I
the
said-
show you were expecting me to pick that you're
Mostly
pissed
disapproval.
about?
no. It wasn't. No.
It's certainly not
no.
approval.
Not at all. No. I mean, like I said in the beginning, all my stuff is cartoons. Like I didn't choose
Yeah.
anything like live action. But like that is absolutely one of the reasons why it made my decision to choose cartoons so difficult, because Drake and Josh is so good.
Okay, you honestly worried me, Zach.
No,
your sigh scared the shit out of me.
I had the Drake and Josh album, and shout out to Drake Bell, dude. I like some people are out here saying fuck Drake Bell for not coming to our high school because that was supposed to happen? Question mark. I
It
don't
also
even
still
know.
is, though.
I don't know
There's a giant
anybody that
asterisk.
had. I don't know anybody that actually had any evidence that he was
Yeah,
supposed
like
to come.
people just said that. I don't know if it's true, but like.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it was. Drake Bell's awesome. He's also, I think, arguably a really good Spider-Man. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
how
Yeah.
Some
No,
of the people feel
He's one of
about
my
that.
favorite voices.
Yeah. And yeah, Drake and Josh is awesome.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. I'll give more
Yeah.
reasons why it's my number 2. I just had to let you talk, because honestly, your sigh of like whatever. got
No,
me so
my
worried.
my sigh was like it was a yearning sigh. It was
Okay.
like, I wish I could have included it, but
Okay.
because
The
of the
Hustler episode.
myself.
Yeah,
The
dude.
Hustler episode was
Hustler
one of my favorite
episode?
ones.
Oh man,
His freaking
James
camp
Spear.
counselors.
That's a classic.
But I don't like Drake and Josh is just such like a good show. That's how I like pictured like them working at the movie theater and then everything. That's honestly, as a kid, how I pictured my life would be, like as a 16-year-old or whatever. Like you have the movie theater job, you get all these movies for free, and then you just fuck around and then do whatever. But
Yeah.
no, the show, I swear, at least as a kid, you probably would think. I'm sure when you watched Avatar, you probably thought it was way more than 4 seasons. But Drake and Josh is only 3
yeah.
seasons.
Yeah.
Is it really?
He's
Dude,
only-
Drake and Josh felt like years.
I know.
But like,
Yeah.
then again, everything felt so long. Years
Well,
goes
here's
by
the
now.
thing,
It's
Zach.
like,
Drake and Josh was just like iCarly. Like after they finished it, they just kept airing it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the
Yeah,
thing,
everyone
Zach.
wanted to
What's
watch it.
more impressive with it being 3 seasons is how much Josh Peck worked his ass off to lose
Dude.
weight.
Oh yeah.
Busted his ass.
Oh
yeah.
my, that makes it so much more
Yeah.
impressive with everything.
Shout out to Josh.
Shout out to him.
I remember my grandmother. I remember my grandmother commenting on it, and like
Yeah.
for something that like my grandmother passively watched. Like, yeah. Like
My
that was,
grandmother
like-
commented on it as well. She was like, "Wow, he lost a lot of weight." And I was like, "Yeah, he went to the grindstone."
Yeah, and now Josh has a TV show
Yeah.
with
I
Matt
forgot what
LeBlanc.
it's called. I don't know if he's in that show with Matt LeBlanc.
The few
I know what you're
movies that he
talking
did were
about.
still great too. Like he's a good actor.
Nah,
Oh, yeah,
boys,
for sure.
ready? Drake and Josh, the Christmas special,
Drake.
fire movie.
The Chris.
What
Wait,
is
the
the
movie
one with
or
Kimbo
Leave
Slice, right?
Abakish.
Yeah.
Jumbo Shrimp.
Jumbo Shrimp is a banger.
Jumbo Shrimp.
Jumbo
was
Shrimp's a
great.
banger. There was an episode I was thinking of earlier, before I got sidetracked. No, like I forget what the really old TV show was. I forget what it was, but it was they Drake and Josh recreated when they were throwing the sushi like on the.
Oh, that was from I Love Lucy.
I
Yeah,
Love
I Love
Lucy.
Lucy.
That's it. They had that little like nick of it, but they were just throwing
Almost
all the
every
sushi on
TV
the
show
ceiling.
that is like a sitcom does that now. It's like
Some,
a
I Love
almost like a
Lucy
tradition.
type. Yeah, I mean, I Love Lucy
Dude.
was iconic.
One
Let's
of
be honest.
one of the best moments I've had bonding with my sister is watching the Christmas episode, Ron, and when he's talking to that one kid who I don't know where they said he was from or what he was doing, but they're trying to teach him how to sing the 12 Days of Christmas, and they're like 7. It's like Philippe. They're like what 7 swans are swimming. They're like Abba Kushni.
Oh my, yeah, never mind. No, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's such a random word, and Ron, you triggered something in the deep recesses of my mind. No reason why I should remember that.
Well,
but
honestly,
here we are.
what really helps the list too was how happy I was when Josh Peck came to my college just to be like just
Makes me happy.
our like a speaker and everything. Oh my god, it was like the best day of my life seeing I cannot wait until my Snapchat memory rolls around with that. I don't think that'll be till the springtime, but I loved it. It was so
I
much
don't even
fun.
remember. When the fuck did that happen?
That happened at
That
school.
was like our sophomore year.
What?
Whenever Josh came.
Josh didn't come to our Josh did not come to our high school. I'm referring to Slippery
No,
Rock.
I'm talking to Slip. Yeah, it was our sophomore
Oh,
year.
I'm
Like,
sorry. Yeah. I was like, pardon me, but I was not involved with that at all if it was in our high school. But yeah, it was like sophomore, junior. I was in my apartment.
I'm pretty sure it was sophomore because I think I was still at the community.
Yeah, at the community college. Yeah. But yeah, whenever he came to my school, oh, that was the best day of my life. And then I was so sad. Everyone in the audience was sad when this happened, but while he was talking, a bird flew into the gymnasium whenever it happened, and then he just like made jokes about it. We were all hoping he would just yell, "Megan! Megan!"
Megan.
But he did not do it. It was disappointing, but it was
He
still
does it. He does it a
amazing.
lot though.
Yeah,
you know,
I know. I was
surprisingly
surprised.
he didn't do it because
Yeah.
apparently like everybody says like anytime something goes wrong during one of his speeches or something, he just starts screaming Megan.
Because he knows it's an insta laugh.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, iconic show. But that's why I put it at the number 2. Oh, and of course, the least logical episode in the freaking show was the car in the classroom.
Dude,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
that's
Oh my
so
god.
sad.
that is
Drake
amazing.
put a car in the classroom.
Dude, the dumbest kid does
Could
it.
disassemble an entire car and rebuild it in a classroom. I'm sorry.
Dude, what are you talking about? You know he
It's
didn't
the
disassemble
best.
the car. He easily busted out the window and then reworked it.
He blew up the whole school.
And added 100 years of wear and tear.
Dude, that episode kills me. As a kid, I was like, okay, like, I guess this makes sense. A car is in the classroom.
Honestly, as a kid, I was like, is this the kind of senior pranks that we're gonna have whenever we're in
Right?
high school?
Yeah.
And then like our high school was so boring.
For sure.
The amount of work someone
Abso-fucking-lutely.
has to go through to just disassemble a car, but then also know the car well enough to put it back together.
And it was like a Mercedes basically.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that. It was a nice car.
It was like a 10-year car from a teacher. Oh man, but yeah, that Drake and
Dude,
Josh,
Miss
my number 2.
Grimshaw easily had a 10-year position.
Oh, absolutely, dude. But yeah, Drake and Josh, my number 2 spot. Side note, I wonder if Josh eventually upgraded from Oprah for Oprah into Oprah for Men, which is Joe Rogan, but who knows?
Probably.
Yeah, maybe.
If he made a joke.
No clue.
Maybe. But
I mean, Oprah was definitely part of the times back then.
oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Drake and Josh could have made my top 5, but it was one of those things that Cullen just thought that it was on TV. He didn't realize that it was one of those things that had a schedule. I just thought that it was just
It
on
was just
TV.
on. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
fair. I mean, honestly,
They got their, the Drake and Josh got their start on, or Drake Bell and Josh Peck got their
Amanda show.
start on the Amanda show. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that show. But Zach, Number
Saturday
2.
Night Live for kids.
Yo,
Easily.
my number 2.
number 2, numero
Looking around.
dos.
Well, you see, boys, it started when an alien device did what it did.
Oh, Zach.
Ben motherfucking 10 is my number 2.
2005 Alien Force or Ultimate Alien.
Like Ben 10.
So Ben 10 2005.
Yeah, Ben 10, the original Ben 10.
Oh my god.
Tell us why, Zach. Tell us why.
Dude.
I mean, who didn't want that watch? Let's be honest. But tell us why.
Dude, I love Ben 10.
Everyone wanted to watch, dude.
Ben 10, easily. I wanted that watch. I had dreams about getting that watch. I had the toy version. Not actually, I had 2 toy versions of that watch. One when I was younger, and one when I was an adult. Because shout out to Toys R Us for going out of business. It was stupid cheap.
I caught one on the low.
Dude,
There
it was
is-
crazy. I bought it for like $8. It was $40 originally. What the fuck is that?
There's a Ben 10 app
exactly.
for my Samsung Galaxy watch, and it
That's
is one of the
awesome.
coolest because it's almost like the watch that he wore in Alien Force. So like it's really cool to have it on the watch.
That's amazing.
But as I keep her going, what's up with the show?
But yeah, dude. I mean, I love Ben 10. I love Ben 10 was one of the first, along with like Teen Titans and everything, like one of the first TV shows that I actually recognized a bigger plot developing, and like an overarching plot developing throughout a series. Ghost Freaks episodes specifically, or really stood out to me.
Oh my god.
Ghost
Freak, whenever they went to the private school for Gwen,
dude,
that was my one of my favorite episodes, seeing the real Ghost Freak.
Ghost Freak was always my favorite alien he had, and it annoyed the shit out of me previously to those episodes that he didn't use him more, and then after that those episodes I understood, oh, it's because when he turns into Ghost Freak, he's freaked the fuck out. Like, he doesn't like being Ghost Freak because he feels like this weird sensation whenever he's with him.
It's almost like Alien X. Like, he doesn't like turning into him because it messes with him so much.
Yeah, so deeply. Because it's not just DNA from that alien. It is actually the alien. Yeah. I love that. It was so cool. And then what they end up doing later on with like the mummy alien and the wolf alien, so cool. I love Ben 10. Like the movie when they announced it, I remember counting the days down when the Ben 10 live action movie came out. Still kind of pissed that they never did anything with the second one after they set up Vilgax for fucking coming into the second movie. I don't know how you do that, but whatever. Yeah, it's just it's such a good. Like, not recently, but like in the past, I think my sophomore junior year, I went back on Hulu and watched it because it was on Hulu. It's great. Like, the storytelling in it is great. I love seeing Ben, Gwen, and one of the first
Lucky Cat,
dude.
Lucky Girl, because then she decided to be Lucky Girl.
I think one of the first TV shows as a youth that I actually like kind of watched to its entirety, and like I'm not gonna say I didn't fall out of, but like I eventually through its like reruns, I saw all of them. Great show. It has that adventure-esque thing that I was talking about in our previous episode with the Disney shows, that like they're like, the whole premise of it is that they're going on this summer vacation traveling around the country, and then the whole unveiling of like Grandpa
Plumbers, that is like the coolest secret society ever.
Yeah, that's super cool. Then like figuring out how like with Ben, like figuring out how the watch works and what the watch does throughout that entire thing. I never got too into the spin-off series when he's a teenager and then like later on and all that stuff. But like from what I saw, I appreciated how like it does build off that. It does make sense. And I loved, like, one of my favorite episodes from Ben 10 is when, for whatever reason, he gets sucked into the future and he sees his older self just being the god, like a god tier like character.
His sister comes to the past for Uncle Ben's birthday.
Right. Yeah. Like that's so cool. I love what they do with Gwen too. Like, rather than at first Gwen and Grandpa are like this, like, oh, they're just civilians. But then Gwen learns her magic. Grandpa's this plumber.
Gwen becomes like a legitimate sorcerer.
Yeah. It's great. I love Ben 10.
And like you find out why in the extended series, which I think makes it even like, dude, the Alien Force just like gave you all the lore that you needed from Ben 10 2005.
Right. And then what I really appreciate is how like for me, like when I was a kid, like those were like the toys that like I wanted. When I was a kid, was the Ben 10 toys. I remember they had these balls, dude. I I don't even remember how, why, or what these things were, but basically the premise of it was like imagine a bath bomb with a little figure inside, and that's what it was. I don't know if it was designed to be a bath bomb or if you just if it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, it's like a hardened washcloth in like a square, and that, or like one of those like tiny ass dinosaurs you like throw in water and see it grow.
Yeah, I
over,
know
like,
what you're
the course
talking
of
about.
days.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was one of those things, if it was a bath bomb or what the fuck it was, but yeah, that's what it was. I like really tried to collect all of them as much as I could. I have no idea if I have them. That'd be awesome if one day I found them, but who knows? Probably not. They're probably fun.
But yeah, Ben 10's a great pick, honestly. I was considering it, but I didn't have like too much of like an invested childhood into the show, so
Dude,
it's kind of
started with an alien device is what it did.
Yeah, those
It's
are
like a
facts.
self-plotted risk, secret status hid.
But Matt,
powers. He's an orphan kid.
Matt, what is your number 2?
He's Ben 10.
My number 2 is SpongeBob SquarePants.
No fucking
Oh.
shit.
It has. I mean, it's like it's
Wow.
Disney's answer to Mickey Mouse, bro.
Well,
SpongeBob's
it's
iconic.
Nickelodeon's
Disney's
answer to Mickey Mouse.
Or yeah,
I think that's Mickey
Nickelodeon's
Mouse.
answer to Mickey Mouse. Whatever. You know what I mean.
That's a wild time, though.
I think
for
I
sure.
quote SpongeBob bare minimum once every 2 days. Whether it's with you guys, in just to myself if I'm thinking about something, or to like my other friends that I'm talking to. It's just so quotable. The early seasons the writing is hilarious. The movie
Oh, the movie is so good.
hardcore. I love the movie. There's not much to
Now that
say
we're
about it that
men.
hasn't already been said, to be honest. It's just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have a favorite episode that comes to mind?
Oh, my favorite episode is Band Geeks for sure.
Yeah.
The one where they do the marching band and they play at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that one's iconic, especially with
Either
whenever
that one or the one where they go camping.
Oh,
You mean
okay.
whenever the Super Bowl managed to ruin it?
Yeah, but no. I'm saying like the memes like on Twitter after the Super Bowl when Travis Scott
Yeah, after.
played. Yeah, but yeah, no, they've.
I mean, the one where they go
that.
camping is also.
Yeah, the one they go
that's
camping
one
is
of my
amazing.
favorites.
Sea bears, bro. Don't even fuck with sea bears.
So you got to draw your sea bear circle in the
Draw
dirt.
your sea bear circle in the dark. In the dirt. But no, great pick, Matt. We'll talk.
I have a feeling we would.
Yeah. Colin, what is your number 2 pick?
My number 2 is something that was almost exactly like Transformers, but even like worse of an obsession for young Colin, which was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1987.
Great show.
I
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
still to this day, now the new
Everybody
ones,
loves
I'm
the
not
Turtles.
super big fan of it because they're kind of doing a Teen Titans Go thing, except it feels like it's a lot more aimed at kids, and like I don't have a problem with it, but
Teen Titans
kinda
Go
wish
is
they still
phenomenal.
left
Don't
it.
come at Teen Titans Go.
I kind of wish they would have left it like how the last one was, which was still just a different art style, but still Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But you know what? It is what it is. But those ones I watched religiously. I remember on my sick days from elementary school, I would pop in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and I would watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I had a good time. They were like, their villains were so much fun. The action sequences were so great. I wanted every action figure. I just I could have my own podcast about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Who was like the main villain of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from like when we watched when we were kids? Like the Slade
Shredder.
of
That was Shredder.
Shredder, dude.
Shredder's
Oh,
question.
Shredder was amazing. I love
Bebop
Shredder.
and Rocksteady.
There's Krang too.
Dude, I like
Krang,
Rocksteady's
he was the
games.
alien.
Bro, yeah. Shredder was phenomenal. I loved him in the show. It was like the Slade that was Teen Titans. And
Pretty
Dude,
much.
Shredder was fire flame.
my favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles memory was whenever it was Zach's birthday party. We were little kids, and I got him the PS2 version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game.
Dude,
then-
no, you got me the PS version of TMNT.
Or TMNT, yeah.
Great game, dude. TMNT. Listen, I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when I was younger, but TMNT as a movie was, I fucking loved it. It was so good. I watched it religiously. And Ron, the last time I visited you at Slippery Rock, when we went out to the bar, while you were doing whatever you were doing, being sick, I went outside and I put TMNT on Netflix to fall asleep to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you went outside. I was at the bar and sick. I was like, no. I never puke in public. But yeah, no. Privately.
No, this was after.
Privately,
after
easy.
that
The last time you watched that, we were in not in our apartment. You watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Dude, it was either in Haley's apartment or it was the time before that I was up there, but I really think it was in Haley's apartment because I remember having The Witcher on and switching it because I was like, dude, you're puking, and I was all set up. I was like, I'm gonna get this man food. Like I was asking.
Oh, that was
Haley,
the last time. That was the last time,
dude. I was like, Haley, I'm trying to DoorDash Taco Bell. How do I do that? Because I don't see it. She's like, DoorDash isn't a thing here, and me. Like being at Kent State where everything's a thing all the time to DoorDash. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what do you do at 4 a.m. when you're hungry?
You order Domino's or Cafaros. That was pretty much it. If you're hungry,
my mind.
If you're drunk hungry, you order pizza. That's just how
dude, I had this whole situation. I had this whole situation planned in my head. I was like, dude, you're gonna puke. You're gonna do what you want to do. Then everything was gonna be chill. You're gonna come outside. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna eat your food, and we're gonna watch The Witcher. And like we were gonna just vibe for a bit. And that obviously didn't happen. You stayed in the toilet for forever. And then you passed out.
We're really off topic right now.
Yeah, for sure.
That could be a top 5 times Ron has puked from drinking, but whatever. We'll get there eventually. But Colin, any more words on TMNT?
TMNT, I've gone through and rewatched all of them again, and I do it all the time. I just go through and rewatch TMNT. Like whatever TMNT it is, I watch it constantly. I just have so much fun watching them.
Dude, shout out to the Turtles.
I probably have an entire dresser drawer full of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures and stuff. Like they were one of my absolute favorite things to have as a kid.
Dude, when I was a kid, I shit you not, I showed, from my knowledge at least, I showed no affinity for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I didn't do I don't know what happened, but I think I wanted a video game for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and my mom came back with a full ass sewer play set and 8 different figures. I don't know if there was a sale going on or what happened, but my young self did not question it in any way. It was my birthday.
I remember whenever my mom got me the original Turtle Van, and I was just elated. Young Colin was in Nirvana.
Zach, regarding to your birthday with TMNT, what I was gonna say earlier before we started talking about Drunk Ron was I got you that game for your birthday, but someone else in your family also gave you that game for your birthday, so I kept the game. Like my mom said, yeah, just keep it.
I think I remember this.
Yeah,
I think I remember this.
So I was like, honestly, it was kind of like, oh, Pog you. I get to have a free game that was meant for someone else. Awesome, and I loved it. That's the only reason I owned it. But
yeah, shout out to when I got you the leopard lizard. I'm sorry, I should say my mother got you the leopard lizard on Webkins. And I thought it was mine, and I came home and I was like, oh my god, my mom bought me a Webkin. She's like, no, this is for Ron. I was like, what the fuck, Ron.
Yeah, and then I got another one. The exact, my aunt gave me one also.
Yeah, but my mom didn't let me keep that one.
Yeah, I kept them as twins.
Yeah, he kept them as twins. Then I ended up getting one and named it Ron. I'm sure it's somewhere in my house. Because my mom doesn't throw stuff. Of all the things my mother has thrown away, she doesn't throw away stuffed animals, which is crazy. Yeah. I think it's the Beanie Babies because I think they have value now? Question mark? I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah, Colin, TMNT, great pick.
TMNT is one of my best, one of my favorites.
But boys, we are now at the part of the show where we talk about our number 1 pick. we made it. Here we are. My number one pick of shows I watched when I was a kid should be no surprise, especially since I foreshadowed it earlier, is SpongeBob SquarePants. I mean,
Man had a whole TV dedicated to him.
let's be honest, dude. I had an addiction, and my family fed it. I was close to getting my walls painted SpongeBob, like green circles on yellow walls, man. Yellow was my favorite color as a kid, and that changed quickly once I like grew up a bit. But my god, I had every SpongeBob video game that was made. I had like those old like the SpongeBob controllers. I had a SpongeBob PS2 controller, but I had one of those controllers that had a game built inside that you plugged into the RGB ports of your TV. So it was like another game. I had a SpongeBob TV. I had a SpongeBob blow-up chair. Like everything. Board games. Like SpongeBob Life. So much stuff. It was an addiction, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. That was just the show I could always watch and go back to. I would actively participate in like those SpongeBob marathons if I was able to, that like led up to another episode. And favorite episodes, like I asked Matt earlier, probably one of them is I always think of is Krusty Towers. The camping episode, the wishing well episode. The ones that were
Gary
made,
gets lost.
that's a special. That's a special. That one is heartbreaking.
Real talk though, the SpongeBob soundtrack, it's a bop.
Dude, it's the best
There's a
day
lot of
ever.
hits in the SpongeBob
there's a lot of
soundtrack.
Dude, at work, I've been saying, call me Sandy Cheeks because I want to go home.
Jesus.
Because
Oh God.
definitely a huge fan
I'm
of
with it.
SpongeBob. I mean, I don't know who isn't.
I think everyone who's our age loves it and quotes it constantly.
That's
sure.
the thing. Like, it's such a cultural
It's the
icon
show of a
for the
generation.
Gen Zs and
Dude.
maybe some millennials. But Zoomer humor is honestly kind of actively focused on SpongeBob. If we're kind of being honest, that's definitely part of it.
One of my favorite moments from SpongeBob is like when I was like well past the point of like actively watching SpongeBob and my little cousins were watching it. And it's the show where they adopt the one clam.
Yeah.
And SpongeBob's like, he can't fly yet. And Patrick's like, is he stupid? And I lost my mind. I lost my mind when you said that. And my cousins looked at me, they're like, what's wrong with you? I was like, dude, it's just funny.
Remember the episode where Patrick had his parents come to visit?
Yeah.
I got this note, and then I got this letter. It's like not what you think it is, and it's like then I got this message from my parents. Like it's just stupid shit like that. That's just so funny for no reason.
Yeah, man.
And all the episodes with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, specifically the one where they like form the Avengers type team.
Oh my God, that one's amazing.
That one is hilarious.
Krakatawa.
Yeah, fantastic.
There's so many quotable things from SpongeBob that I think it just makes it the most iconic show.
It's a very close number 2 for me. Very close.
Yeah. I'm curious to what your number one is gonna be, Matt. But we'll have to wait and see, because Zach is up next to hit us with his number one.
Dude, I don't think any of you would ever be able to guess my number one. And I don't think any of you even have it in your honorable mentions. But my number one is the American Dragon Jake Long.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
I don't even know what that show is.
Dude, it is.
Get out of here. Just leave.
The American Dragon Jake Long. I loved that TV show. Ron, if you don't know what it was, basically it was a TV show built around this kid in middle school or high school, I forget what it was, who had the ability to turn into a dragon. And
Sounds weird, champ. You wouldn't watch Dragon Ball Z because it's too anime?
so he's Chinese, I believe. And he had the
He's also
ability to
played
turn into
by
a
Prince
dragon.
Zuko.
He is, yeah. So he is the American dragon, and there's like different types of dragons that are like, I guess, in charge of different sectors of the world. The American dragon, for whatever reason, is like a very important dragon. It is I forget exactly, but his uncle, oddly enough, it was his grandpa. Was it his uncle or his
It's
grandpa?
his grandpa. His
It's
entire
grandpa.
family, really.
Yeah, G, because he always called him G. His grandfather was like in charge of how to train him as a dragon, because his grandfather also was able to turn into a dragon. His sister ended up being able to turn into a dragon, but his mother, for whatever reason, the gene like passed over his mother. So he had this responsibility of like basically keeping peace in like the fairy tale world that existed in America. They lived in New York, didn't they?
Yeah, they lived in New York.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
kept peace against the Hunts clan.
Yeah, so the Hunts clan was this clan dedicated to slaying all of the dragons and other mythical creatures. The dragons were basically in charge of fighting the Hunts clan to like defend all the other mythical creatures. I loved it so much. So in the first half of it, he was a dragon in the most, like, when I say a dragon, probably what you picture: 4 legs, wings, like that type of dragon, right? And he had this love interest named Rose, who was an apprentice to the huntsman, to like the main bad guy. And they had this like whole like in their like normal lives, like this whole like kind of love interest happening, but in their like private lives, they obviously didn't know each other was whatever. The final episode of this series, Rose discovered Jake was Jake, because like in the Hail Mary, like she was about to kill him as a dragon, and he like turned into a human, and she like spared him basically. And that was it. It ended for like, I think like I want to say like it felt like forever, but like it was
did
probably
feel
like a year or
forever.
two.
No,
It
I think it was
came
longer than a year or
back.
two.
It came back with a whole new art style. Jake was now he wasn't a like a dragon in the sense of like he had 4 legs and wings. He was a Chinese dragon, like the long serpent like dragon. Art style was completely different, but they took where they left off and continued it and built it. It was amazing. I loved that show. That was the first show that I truly liked, especially towards the end of the first season and the last season, that I was like, holy shit, what is happening next week? Because I want to know. That like I had to control the TV, that every night, I forget what day it was, like every Friday night, I don't give a fuck what anybody was doing. I don't care what was on. This is what was going to be on the TV. And it did the thing. The only complaint I ever had about it was it did the thing where, like, in the main title screen, it has a bunch of flashes of what's going to happen in the episode. And every time, whenever the main title, I love the main title, like, theme happening, but every time I always, like, closed my eyes and looked away from the TV and just listened to it, because I didn't want anything spoiled at all.
Yeah, I looked up
phenomenal show.
I looked it up because I wasn't familiar, but I googled Nickelodeon show about dragons because I couldn't remember the name.
Well, it's a Disney show, so that's awkward.
Well, whatever. It still popped up.
You might be looking at Dragon Tales?
No, it wasn't Dragon Tales, because if I was gonna say that, it still came up, The Legend of the Dragon, right?
No,
Which one was it? Was it
American Dragon Jake Long?
Yeah.
Wait, but I swear it's a Jake Long and
The Legend of the Dragon. I don't even know.
Anyways,
American Dragon Jake Long.
I think the cool thing about the Hunts clan is they were kind of like comparable to what the Templar are in Assassin's Creed. Like, they would collect the artifacts and try and use them as like the magical artifacts from the magical underworld. Yeah. They would try and use them as like weapons, and they were like there to kind of like take over the world in a sense, but they also wanted to end the magical world. They wanted to be the people who had the power, not the magical like underworld that existed in New York. And that was Jake Long's like purpose, was to like, the dragons are the protectors of the magical worlds.
Yeah, and like the last bit, especially, like it builds on that. Like the second like season, like the second
Oh yeah.
iteration of it, builds on that so well, and gets so much more deeper in the way. Like I feel like the first part of American Dragon was kind of like this is a fun Disney show. But
Yeah.
like the second one really like honed in on like this is like we're gonna try to do something, and like I said, like that like forbidden love between Rose and Jake, and like how that plays out throughout that second half of the show. It really like stuck with me, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like you're a Hunt's girl, and he's a dragon, but like you're trying to make it work, and there's this weird like for a period like they're like dating, and it's like fun, and like it's kind of like this ha ha ha, like we get to share each other's secrets, but it's like, oh my god, like all this fucking shit can go down.
I looked it up a bit more just to see the art style, and yeah, like I've seen an episode or two of the show before, but I was never like invested in it.
Dude, I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
It was so I loved it.
I would also
But-
like to say I think it was season 2 where they did the crossover with Lilo and Stitch.
Did they? I don't even remember that.
Yeah, season 2 they did a crossover with Lilo and Stitch.
Honestly, I wish it was on Disney Plus. It kind of makes me mad that it's not, but like
Zach,
I
I'll
would
give
love
you
to go
some
back and
websites.
rewatch. Honestly, send it to me. I'll watch it right now because I'm hungry and I'm probably gonna want to eat something after we do this. So, do it. Send it. Full send, Colin.
Full send Zach the link while
Full
I
send.
full
Chat,
send.
if you got a way for me to watch the American Dragon Jake Long to in its entirety without going to some weird anime sites, and like simple just hit play and I can stream it to my TV, or even if I can get it on my TV, full send that.
I'll have to explain things after, but I'll send you the link right now.
Oh
Well,
god.
while you full send Zach some links, I'm gonna full send it to Matt to tell us what his number 1 pick is.
Oh, my number 1 is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Surprised you
The
probably
Avatar:
know
The Last
Legend of
Airbender?
Korra. Yeah, not Legend of Korra.
The very
The Avatar.
The very one.
Avatar.
What?
Tell us
I
why,
mean-
Matt. I mean, we already talked about it before, but tell
Because
us why more.
It's legendary, dude.
That's
Everything
great.
from the characters are all incredible. The story is amazing. The world building is fantastic. Soundtrack is so incredible. The art style I love.
Iconic, honestly. Like you hear, like I've been ever since it came on Netflix, and like I've been watching anything on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. The second I hear somebody using like the Avatar soundtrack or something from the Avatar on TikTok or whatever, instantly I know exactly what this is.
Yeah. The soundtrack is fantastic.
I
just
honestly
like
didn't realize how big the
all
show
the
was until
small
it came out on Netflix.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
well, people
it-
love the
yeah, that
show.
was
You
like-
couldn't- you
no.
couldn't stream it everywhere. That was the only problem that they had.
Yeah, no, the show was always big, but it coming on Netflix was the damn busting for everybody
Yeah.
else.
It's definitely regarded as like Nick's number 2 show,
No,
like
aside
of all
from
time.
number 2, what's number 1?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob's number 1.
I mean, all
like
right.
in terms of like marketing potential
Okay.
and like
Okay.
how it's received by the general public. Like Avatar is, I think, I mean, I know it's better, but it's people's God-given right to be wrong, so you just have to let them be wrong. But I think Avatar is probably the show that I've rewatched the most. I probably rewatched like, if you don't count just watching like loose episodes as a kid, I've probably rewatched the whole show like 4 times. And like every time I go back and rewatch it, like there's something new to appreciate every time. Like I'll appreciate like a new character, like a different character's arc on different rewatches. Like,
Yeah, because you give
my
them like
last-
more attention and
Yeah, like my
everything.
last rewatch, I think Sokka was my favorite. Suki, by the way, was my childhood Jasmine equivalent. Zach.
Suki.
So she's definitely goated.
Bro, the
in my
moon
eyes.
though. The moon.
She's not Suki though.
No, I'm
Dude,
talking about the
no,
literal moon.
Yue was so
Talking
much more than the moon. I easily would have taken Yue over Suki, but Suki's a fun.
You
Like,
know,
if
that's
like, your
rough, man.
girlfriend,
sometimes.
I mean, if your girlfriend
Sometimes
turns
you gotta
into the
be wrong.
moon and that is Suki's all you're left with, I mean,
All I'm
absolutely
saying,
not complaining in any way, shape, or form.
Suki's
But
beating that ass though. That's all
I
that
guess
needs to be
I
said.
guess it all
Remember,
depends on what you're into, then, Matt.
you saw what she did to the warden, bro. Forever the best.
I did witness.
But I wouldn't just rank Avatar as my favorite like kid show. I would say it's easily a top 5 show of the last decade. Not close, not even a little bit. Easily like top 3, like no doubt. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
and
a masterpiece of not just
honestly,
animation. It's a masterpiece of television.
yeah, and like I love Avatar. That's what kept it out of my list. Is for me, I loved
See,
Avatar when I was a kid, but I really didn't. I think experience Avatar to its like I watched it passively aside from like the few arcs that like I was really into when I was younger, and for me I really didn't like go back and watch it.
I watched it
And
extremely
albeit I did it before it came on Netflix, but
I think I
um,
rewatched it twice before it came back on Netflix, and then I rewatched it
yeah, I
again
really
when it
didn't
came
go
on
back
Netflix.
and like see it until it came like after Netflix. But it was a great show. Great show. I loved it. I loved it when I was younger. I mean, I still loved it. I knew it was good. I knew exactly what I was getting
And
into.
all I gotta say, people complaining about how you have to maybe binge watch some certain shows now because all these streaming services are trying to milk an extra month out of your subscription before you cancel. Imagine being a kid and seeing the end of season 2 of Avatar, and you gotta wait a year to find out what happens.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
Yeah,
Like
definitely
when
not.
I saw Aang wake up on that ship for the first time, I lost my damn mind. It was the hypest shit. So that's my number 1.
Good. I honestly fantastic. Man, if I was a kid and watched it, I'm sure it would 100% probably be my number
Forever
1. If I'm being honest.
Like I wanted to be a bender. Like I'm like
Yeah.
Jedi.
Oh yeah,
close
bending would
second,
have been
but
so cool.
everyone like I wanted to be a bender.
Dude, I'd be lying if I said I didn't sit in my grandma's pool and pretend I was a waterbender.
I think
Like,
everybody
I
would
wanted
lie
to,
if they
I
said
wanted
they
to
didn't do
glide
that.
it. Like I just wanted to like fly around in my Appa all day.
My
Like, that's
Appa.
that'd be the hypest shit.
I would just love to have a glider. I think airbending was the coolest one.
Oh, airbending is
Airbending was the
definitely the
easiest
best,
one.
in my opinion.
Or easiest one. Am I talking about the easy pick?
Easiest one.
Easy like pick. You know.
I don't know. I think back when I was younger, fire was the answer. That's what I wanted.
Air was always my favorite.
Colin, you're ending the show today. What is it? What's your number 1?
Probably. All right.
Probably
Young
or
Colin.
definitely?
Young Colin. If they said this episode was coming next Tuesday, young Colin would come and tell his mom next Tuesday at 6:00 PT or whatever they said on the TV. I would literally go, "You have to tell me to watch it." And she made sure that I watched it. I had so many little like toys and things that involved. I didn't get as much as like TMNT and Transformers because I don't think my mother understood like how much I really liked this show. But at the same time, I also think that those toys were expensive. Where like TMNT and Transformers, you could get at like yard sales and stuff.
Dude,
so like
I
my
have
mom
this
was all over
feeling-
that.
I just have this really strong feeling that he's gonna say what it is. And I'm
You know
never gonna
exactly
know
what it is,
was.
Zach.
Do
You
I?
know exactly what it is. It's
I?
Ben 10 2005.
Ah, there it is.
It's Ben 10 2005.
Yeah.
It sparked. I have watched
Dude,
the
it started
entire
when an
Ben
alien
10
device did what it
series.
did. That's what I'm saying.
I have watched the entire Ben 10 series over and over and over and over again. Right now, I'm in the middle of Ultimate Alien. It is easily one of my favorite shows, period. It has some of the most fun adventures. The aliens are so much fun. They are so unique. All of them have their own quirks, they have issues, and none of them are perfect, which just makes it like you would feel like if you had a watch that could turn into any alien that you would be this invincible god. But they still all have their issues and their downfalls as well as their strengths, which is what made it such a fun show to watch. Not only that, but Alien Force had a phenomenal storyline. I was so into the Alien Force storyline. I loved the idea that there was an alien race out there that thought they were perfect and needed to like expunge everything else from the I mean, this was my favorite. Like, I pretended all the time as a kid that I was like, I had the watch, I was being Ben 10. Like, it was easily some of my favorite kid memories, and wishing that I could just like, turn into, and like even just one of them, I would give up so much just to turn into one of those aliens. Any of them, I don't care. I think like honestly, so like in 2005, the 2005 Ben 10, probably my favorite alien had to have been Upgrade, just because I'm also a huge tech person,
Yeah,
and
no, I don't believe you.
like being able to turn, especially back in these days, say get one of those old flip phones, touch it, and now all of a sudden it would be like what smartphones are today. It like that kind of stuff was just like so cool to me. And not only that, but I think the really cool thing behind Upgrade is that like he isn't complete. Like there's an issue with his DNA, because like if you see what was his name? Eltrax, and what was the puppy's name in Ben 10 Alien Force? I'm blanking on it right now. I want to say Skippy, but it's not Skippy. It's I think it starts with, I can't remember right now. But like they were able to touch a piece of technology and then transform into it, where Ben had to wrap himself around the technology and like become part of that technology. So like the alien was never actually the true alien, so he never could like accomplish what the alien could accomplish, because if he could, he would be this like ultimate alien. Like Upgrade would have been the ultimate alien, period, because he would just like turn into Upgrade, and then all of a sudden he'd be a giant mech, or he'd be, any piece of technology he's ever touched before. So like, I don't know, Upgrade was a lot of fun. And honestly, Heat Blast, so cool because he could fly with like as if he was a jet engine. Diamond Head was easily like the strongest, and that was just so much fun. That show, I had every video game, even though they were kind of disappointing because they were like definitely just beat 'em ups.
Didn't like Cartoon Network have like website games?
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Oh yeah.
For Ben 10, those ones were sick.
Those games are all really fun.
And I am like so excited because right now what I really want to do, I just don't want to pay $15 right now, but they just released a new Ben 10 movie yesterday and I want to watch it so bad, but I don't want to pay $15 yet.
Where's it at?
You can just go online and buy it.
Oh.
It's right now. I think it's released in like Saudi Arabia or something, since
Did you
most
watch
places aren't
the
doing
new
it.
TV show?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
I hate the theme. Theme eats ass.
What?
The theme song, it eats ass.
I mean, yeah, it's not Ben 10 2005, but
dude,
like,
it's not. Like Ben 10 2005 hypes you up so much. You're like,
I mean,
I'm
it
about to see
does.
some
Like,
crazy shit. And this one's just like Ben 10, Ben 10, Ben 10, Ben 10.
yeah.
It shows you pictures. It's like,
And honestly, I think it's the like, I'm constantly gonna say it. I think Teen Titans Go honestly like gave such an impression on what TV cartoons are supposed to be now, that like so many cartoons are trying to mimic it.
I don't think it's Teen Titans Go. I think it's just where the cartoons were heading. Because even if you look at like Bugs Bunny and Scooby Doo, like the new Scooby Doo that they most recently released, aside from Scooby Doo Guess Who, but like it follows the same art style, same idea. It's annoying. I'm not gonna say it's not. I mean, for sure.
The new Scooby Doo, I don't think it's as bad. I think it has the same art style, but I don't think it's as bad as like this weird, like, let's take what you love and just turn into this goofy, nonsensical thing. But the new Ben 10 doesn't do that. Doesn't do that either. They definitely like, they keep it a little bit goofy because I think that's what they're trying to do, a new reboot of it and like do a new adventure. But like, it's not Teen Titans Go where all of a sudden like they're just making tacos and it's like taco and they start singing about tacos and it's like that's so dumb. I don't want to sing about tacos for 5 minutes. Let's actually do something fun. So like the new series I definitely enjoy. I think Ben 10 2005 is my choice because it's what started my love and what I like as a tiny Colin of 7 years old just sat there and made sure he saw the episodes. But Ben 10 Alien Force, once I got older and I was able to like follow it myself and like keep up with it, Ben 10 Alien Force was phenomenal. I don't think they ever really rewrote anything that they did. There was no like retcons, there was no this never happened. Like stuff that they established that happened in the future, they explain how they get there and it's like I mean they fit it all together very well. It's one of my favorites. Period.
I think it's a great pick. I'm sure Zach agrees. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
Being your
I do.
number one. But boys, we're now at the point where we talk about our honorable mentions. You know the drill. We give 3 honorable mentions per top 5. Just how it works. But I'm gonna start it off in no particular order with my honorable mentions. Danny Phantom, as Matt talked about earlier in the podcast. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yo.
So I brought up. Absolute honorable mention. It's Hot in Topeka. I don't know how that's the pinnacle of comedy. Like, come on. And then my third one, it's kind of pushing it, but we weren't really like too old for it. But Phineas and Ferb, I would definitely list as an honorable mention.
I can't say it's a bad one.
Yeah, no. There's definitely way worse options that like someone could pick. I feel
It was like on the cuff.
Yeah, I would say it's like towards borderline, but
That's why I cut a show from my list because of that. But I'll get to it.
But yeah, those are my 3 honorable mentions. I mean, we already talked about 2 of the 3 of them. I mean, Phineas and Ferb, just the classic Disney cartoon, honestly, and one of like the only Disney cartoons IMO to me that like actually like stuck with me, and like I still kind of watch sometimes. Like I'll occasionally watch Phineas and Ferb, but yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Zach, what are yours?
Nope. It's Matt's turn.
Okay, Zach's rewriting his list. Matt,
Fixing it.
what are your honorable mentions, Matt?
I won't say Drake and Josh because we already talked about it. One of them was Ned's Declassified.
School Survival Guide.
Survival Guide? Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's
Yo,
just
Big B.
hanging. Hey, baby.
Hey, Big B.
Big
I'm
B,
surprised no one
what
mentioned the
big-
Fairly Odd Parents a little bit.
I'm
That
not.
shows- You're not?
I
You're
mean,
not into it?
I'm not surprised.
It's a good show.
I'm not surprised.
good.
Yeah. There.
It didn't
Here's the
like
thing: if
come
we were
out.
doing top 5 Nickelodeon shows,
Yeah.
it's probably on someone's
For sure.
list. But like, of 3 of the Giants of cartoons, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
really go that
that's
far.
fair, I guess. It's an honor.
Really, Odd Parents was always a good show to have on, not a good show to like watch.
Yo,
That
Icky
makes
Vicky
sense.
though.
Vicky.
The soundtrack is always good. Butch Hartman, he writes all the songs for his shows.
Butch
They're all
Hartman,
actually pretty good.
amazing animator. I mean, he's just an amazing animator. That's all. And here's the thing: is like he's not one of those people who, like, you know how sometimes you get involved in something and they're the kind of people that are like, oh, well, you're just not good, and like, you know, you're never gonna be this and you're never gonna be that, and they're kind of like the elitist that doesn't want you to be good because they want, like, for some reason they want their hobby to be exclusive. He's the kind of guy that's like, I will teach everybody and anybody to animate if you sit down with me. I would love to talk to you about animation. I want to see your animations. Like, this guy genuinely loves cartoons, and I admire that so much.
And then it didn't make my list because I think it was right on the cuff of like age, but regular show. I love
Oh, okay.
Big fan of regular. I mean, like,
I would agree with your reasoning of
I
not
would
putting it
watch
in.
it.
What'd you say,
There's
Colin?
a severe lack of Cartoon Network shows, I feel.
I would watch the regular show, but I
What,
didn't.
that make the cut, you mean, Zach?
But yeah, for collectively all of us, yeah.
I mean, I mostly
what- I
watched
have-
Nick when I was a kid.
I have two.
I mean,
I have
3 of my shows I've watched on Cartoon Network. Tom and
I watched-
Jerry, Ed, and
only
Eddie, and
only
Teen
one of
Titans.
mine on my list was
Was
Cartoon
this-
Network.
was
Dragon
Teen
Ball was
Titans
on
on
Nick
Cartoon
when I watched.
Yeah,
That's
Teen
it,
Titans was
yeah.
Cartoon Network. Sure as hell wasn't Nickelodeon or Disney.
Yeah, it was Cartoon Network.
My number 1 was Cartoon Network, and my number 2 and 3 just weren't on air.
Yeah. I mean, Tom
Yeah,
and
I
Jerry, you kind of
I
watch on
love
Boomerang or Cartoon Network, but
yeah. I love regular shows like Writing Style, and I probably told you guys, but JG Quintel, he made the regular show. His new show, it's on HBO called Close Enough. If anyone listening is looking for a fun adult cartoon to watch, definitely give it a shot. It's very funny and very well written.
I watched a trailer for it recently, and I was definitely interested. I think it was at Zach's house.
You can.
when we
It's
looked
very
at it.
regular show in the fact like the episodes are paced the exact same, but they just have like more adult language and premise. They're really fun.
Got you. Were those all 3 of your honorable mentions?
Yeah, Ned, Fairly Odd
Fair
Parents, and regular show.
Yeah. Okay. Great picks, I would say. I watched a little bit of regular show, but I wasn't really watching too many cartoons at that point of like when I would watch it, if that makes sense.
No, I mean that's why it didn't make my list.
Zach, did you fix up your stuff?
I never had an edit. I just wanted to go. Arguably, I wanted to be last.
Colin wanted to go last.
Colin,
He asked
yeah.
before
Colin
the
already
show.
made their
Colin
request.
claimed
That's
to
fine.
last.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine.
All right. So Zach.
More
Honorable.
so as an experiment because I'm kind of shocked. All right, so my honorable mentions: Danny Phantom, we talked about, great show. Avatar is actually my honorable mentions for the reasons I said before. I really started watching it when I was like recently, this past year, as opposed like I watched it when I was younger. I loved it when I was younger, but I really truly went back and watched it recently. But phenomenal show. And my last one, which honest to God fucking shocks the shit out of me that nobody had in a list or mentioned so far. Granted, Colin hasn't went. Scooby-Doo.
Zach, I was
I-
honestly surprised it wasn't in your top
I
5.
thought you and
That
Colin
is
were
that is one
about
of the ones
Scooby-Doo.
that I wanted to mention if it didn't get mentioned.
Dude, Scooby-Doo, man. Like,
But let's
I-
talk about the best one that came out in 2010 that if I was Jeff Bezos, I would fund that show to be continued forever.
Dude, we talking Mystery Incorporated?
We are talking Mystery Incorporated.
Dude.
I would fund that
Oh, it's
show
so good. It's
to
so
be
good.
continued for the rest of my life.
It's so good.
I would pour money into whoever wants to start Hanna-Barbera doing Mystery Incorporated again. I would pour money into that.
Dude, Mystery Incorporated, like, it's such a good, like, okay, Scooby-Doo in general. I don't know how you can be a person and not have Scooby-Doo have impacted your life in some way. Of all of its various iterations, What's New Scooby-Doo? Shout out to Simple Plan for making that song.
13 Ghosts. That was a
13 Ghosts.
fantastic one.
Scooby-Doo and 100 Nights of Frights, the video game. Scooby-Doo
Cyber Chase on the PS1.
and video game. Dude, so good, so good.
Dude, honestly, it was it
There-
this year? This year they came out with
With Scoob.
the last 13th Ghost as a movie, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited about this because like
I don't even know about these 13 ghosts. What you're talking about?
the 13 Ghosts was Shaggy, Scrappy, and Daphne. They go off and they have to hunt down 13 ghosts that Shaggy released into the world that were like the most dangerous ghosts
Scooby
to
not
exist.
involved in this?
Yeah, it's
Is this a TV
it's
show?
like yeah, it's a TV show.
How new is it?
It's like no, it's old.
Newer
It's
or-
like
oh, okay.
90s. It was fantastic though. It was like it's almost like what Mystery Incorporated. It's probably like the precursor to Mystery Incorporated. Right?
Mhm.
Like they wanted to have this underlying story and they wanted it to be this like crazy secret. But then I think like because they had 13 ghosts, they could obviously only have 13 episodes. and then they never really captured the last ghost, and they finally made a movie about it this year, or maybe it was the end of last year. Yeah, it was the end of last year.
Yeah.
It was the end of last year where they released them like finally capturing the 13th ghost, which I was like, I really enjoyed that one because it was one of my favorite Twilight Zones is whenever they talk about capturing the devil in the closet. And that's what it kind of felt like to me with Scooby-Doo, was like they released the devil into the world, and now he was like responsible for going and capturing the devil again, and he had to make sure that, like, you know, he saved everybody. Like, I don't know, it was this really cool like TV show that I really enjoyed.
Right. And like my whole thing is like I can't remember a point in my life where Scooby-Doo has not been involved. Like Scooby-Doo, like growing up, like the movies, the Loch Ness Monster, the Yowie Yahoo, the Chupacabra movie, the live action movies on a fucking tier of their own. Like,
Oh yeah.
second one's easily the best one that ever exists. Shut the fuck up, Ron. But
dude, you're just wrong. I'm sorry.
but yeah, I mean, even like Mystery Incorporated, I think is such a great TV show as far as like it actually it's not just the who's the bad guy of the week, or who's the ghost of the week. It's
who's the bad guy.
Yeah, but like something that I don't see anyone really talking about. Granted, I don't think I'm in probably the atmosphere to hear it talked about. But if you have not watched, if you're a Scooby-Doo fan, and I don't give a fuck if you're a Supernatural fan, if you have not watched the Scooby-Doo Supernatural crossover episode, you are severely missing out. It is amazing. You don't need to know what the hell is going on with Supernatural. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. All you need to know is Sam and Dean fight ghosts. That's it. That's it. Go watch it and do yourself a favor.
It's fantastic.
Oh man, like
it was so cool. It was so
I didn't even know they ever did that.
Oh, it's awesome, dude.
No, it is
trying
so
to
cool.
fuck Daphne the entire time. Like Velma develops this crush on Sam. It's great. It's great. They blow their mind because like they're real people talking about existential things in real life, and then they're just cartoon characters referencing things like to their cartoon like mentality. Dude, I highly recommend it. Ron, I like watch it tomorrow. Watch it tomorrow. Look it up. It's probably on fucking like Netflix or something. But like watch it up. Watch it. It's great.
Might have to.
It's a 45-minute episode. If you watch it, I'll watch it with you. Whether that's in person or on PlayStation.
Jesus. Colin. What are your honorable mentions?
So before we go on to mine, I just want to end this statement with Mystery Incorporated probably would have made my list, but I felt like it was at that weird point in time where I wasn't a kid.
Easily. It was, yeah.
Because it was middle school. And I'm not going to say that I wasn't a kid in middle school, but like I felt like I wanted to talk about the things that enamored Colin in the mysterious world that was the world at the time.
Yeah.
So it definitely, like, if we just talk about like favorite TV shows, that's definitely top 5, like 100%. So I want to talk about a little bit more than 3. I'm just going to mention them. We don't have to talk about them. But we got Back at the Barnyard.
Dude.
Oh my god.
That's in your honorable mentions, man.
Get out of here.
Back
with that.
at the Barnyard was
No, it's actually
such a fun show.
It's fun.
No, I've seen the show. I've seen the show. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
You got My Dad the Rock Star, which I just enjoyed because he looked like a guy from Kiss, and like I was into rock at the time, and I still am, obviously.
At the time.
And it was just a fun, silly little show. It wasn't anything like that I'm gonna sit there and say it was amazing. Now something that I would talk about is Colin's precursor to Gravity Falls, which was The Secret Saturdays.
I vaguely remember.
I am
The
unfamiliar.
Secret Saturdays is like the first Gravity Falls-ish show. Now, I'm not going to say it's similar to Gravity Falls because, like, obviously Gravity Falls is one of its own, but it was the same thing that was like, let's talk about these mysterious things that happen in the world and like the world around them. And they were people that like hunted these things. And then there was a villain that was trying to like kind of like Bill end the world by uncovering, the most magical thing in the world, like the most mythical thing. Now this was based off of like myths, where Gravity Falls is obviously just a bunch of fun and like things that are made up by the Gravity Falls people. But
Barrel of Monkeys, as some would say.
This was definitely like a great show to watch as a kid. Something that, started the Spider-Man love would be Spider-Man Unlimited. Since it wasn't really on TV and I didn't really have many recordings of it, and like it was hard to find it, young Colin didn't really get to watch much of Spider-Man Unlimited, so that's why it didn't really make it onto my list. But started the love for Spider-Man, I'll tell you that. Camp Lazlo. I think we can all appreciate Camp Lazlo.
I definitely appreciate it.
And then Penguins of Madagascar was just a phenomenal show all on its own.
I forgot about Penguins of Madagascar.
I feel like that came out like in that weird time though.
It did.
I think it did.
It did come out.
I think it was like 2007.
It was. If it was 2007, we were like 9, but still. But yeah, I mean, I agree with those. Are those all your honorable mentions?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up things that like I sat there and I was like, wow, these are like shows, because like I went back and watched a lot of shows from like whenever I was a kid recently, and these are shows that definitely like just stuck out to me, that I was just kind of like, I think these just need to be mentioned in case everybody has like a little bit of a something going on.
Oh no, you're good. I just wanted to make sure before I cut you off or anything to close out the show, But boys, that's it. That's our top 5. Thank you all so much for listening to today's show, and let us know whose list you agree with the most. If you like what you heard, please be sure to give us a like, rating, and share our podcast. We'll see you all next time.